Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. I will say I didn't see Raw this week. I think I only watched clips. I did, however, watch both NXT and SmackDown this week, and I gotta say, for my money, I think SmackDown was the best show this week. I like the angles that they've got going on. The tag division really seems to be heating up. In fact, I think that's something that both SmackDown and NXT have in common, because I know War Raiders are going to be challenging Finn and McDonough for the Raw tag titles, and I'm rooting for War Raiders because I do like them as a tag team. But just as far as like divisions go, the NXT and the SmackDown tag divisions really seem like they're trying to come to life a bit more. But let's stay on SmackDown a little bit for our opening discussion, because Roman Reigns continues to pay for his sins. Nobody wants to team with OG Bloodline, which, to reprise for everybody that might be uninitiated, it's Roman Reigns right now. Jey Uso's back in the fold, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn most recently. They have had trouble finding a fifth person for War Games against Solo's Bloodline, which is him, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. Well, Solo's Bloodline got their fifth member on Friday in Bronson Reed, who it tracks because he has said, beyond the beef that he's got with Seth Rollins currently on Raw, because Bronson Reed took out Seth, what was that now, like a month ago, probably, maybe 2 months ago. He wants to be a main eventer. He wants to be in the main event mix. So his motivations, to me, make perfect sense. Meanwhile, Roman's OG bloodline, you have had Jey Uso and Jimmy both, and especially Jimmy before Jey even got back into the fold. We need help. You can't be a tribal chief without a tribe. And after the latest assault, because Bronson got a tsunami on Roman, which Roman sold expertly, Jacob Fatu continues to look amazing. I personally am most excited for him in the War Games environment. I think it'll be a career-defining moment for him. That's what I'm hoping for. He tells Roman, call him Oos, call him. Now, I was wondering who him was. I even went so far as to speculate The Rock, where my cohort and commentary here, he quickly corrected me in our Discord, which is $3 a month for those that have not subscribed. You can see that in the Patreon in the description box below. Turns out the him was the wise man, Paul Heyman, who that number is disconnected, because we remember when Paul Heyman was taken out all those months ago, Solo destroyed his phone. And I got to tell you, partner, really thinking about this, I said at the beginning it's Roman paying for his sins. We have to come back here, you and I, and just remind everybody that Roman is not a good person. Because I'll tell you what I was thinking when I was doing my teeth before coming on here with you, was Heyman has known, and this is both in kayfabe and I think just shooting, because I think this is just a real thing. Heyman has known Roman's family for decades. He's known them for a long time. And even when Heyman was opposite Roman, when Roman was feuding with Brock, Heyman would say the respect that he had for Roman's family and how he knew Roman's family and all this stuff. So you're talking about a man with an incredibly rich history with this family. And I would imagine after he became the wise man that there was some reciprocity there. Like, Roman knows Heyman's family. They hugged during Heyman's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So what I'm getting at is, you never once visited him? Like, after the attack? Do you not know how a car works? Do you not know where he lives? Like, I really can't believe that you would wait this whole time to call him and you wouldn't have been in touch with him, especially, with you going on, I don't want to say revenge tour, because that has too much Liv Morgan in it, but you go, on this quest to regain the Ulefala and all this stuff, and you have not once talked to your wise man in all this time, and then you're shocked that the number's disconnected. I don't know, man, because at worst, non-kayfabe, it's just, again, more poor writing, at least from where I sit. At best, it's further indication that Roman, again, just is not a good person, and he's so self-absorbed that these people don't really mean anything to him beyond them being constitutive of his tribe, which then he cares about because it's his tribe. So I don't know. What did you think about all these developments? Do you think I'm being too harsh on the story, or do you see where I'm coming from?
No, no, I get where you're coming from. No, I was actually even thinking myself, like it's kind of shocking that Roman called that number, both A, implying that he hasn't been in contact with Paul at all in recent months, and B, implying that he didn't even see that Paul's phone got destroyed when he got beaten out of the bloodline in the first place. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you're kind of with me on this because I wouldn't have blamed you if you would have been like, I don't know, John. That seems like you're taking it a little far there. But yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm enjoying the story because I get that all stories, right, need you to suspend disbelief. I mean, you look at any MCU story, like it's very obvious that a guy like Thanos isn't real or anything like that. And like these gauntlets and all this other stuff. And wrestling too requires its own suspension of disbelief. But here's the thing: Triple H himself has said we're in a reality era. You can tell that he wants to make an era of more intricate storytelling and this and that. So if you're going to have that kind of ambition, you better have your shit covered. I'm just putting it bluntly. And I just feel like this was kind of an oversight for me because it's like, how could you not have really called anybody in Paul's family? Like, I have to imagine his kids. We saw his kids at the Hall of Fame ceremony. They look like they're grown, like his wife or whatever. Like what's going on there, Roman? It just feels like you really were irresponsible on this and that you were out of the loop. That being said, I just feel like Seth is going to be the fifth guy for Roman's team. I mean, what do you think? Because I mean, he has such history with Roman. It feels like kind of a gimme at this point, especially with the Bronson Reed tie-in. Or do you think they're going to subvert us and they're going to find somebody else?
No, it definitely feels like Seth is the one for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with you there. So yeah, I guess moving on from that, I mean, War Games as a match should still be fun, but again, narratively, I know you and I have been asking a lot from this story, and lately it just seems like it's kind of just doing whatever. But yeah, I mean, I like OG Bloodline, and again, really, I think at this point for me, I'm most excited for Jacob Fatu in the War Games cage. So I guess we'll just have to see how that goes. But other than that, kind of looking forward to getting past this. I mean, really, at this point, I'm just looking for Roman to climb back in there with Cody, maybe get the title back. Probably not, but we'll have to see how it goes. Speaking of championships, we had three title matches on this show and one tournament match for the incoming women's US championships. This is kind of a golden edition of SmackDown. Let's talk first about LA Knight's Open Challenge. This was surprisingly good. I normally don't like to talk about LA Knight, but interesting things happened around him because God knows he never generates anything interesting from himself. So he more or less issues an open challenge after declining Sammy's offer to be a part of the OG Bloodline team because Sammy was talking to LA Knight backstage. Honestly, Sammy, you may not know it now, but you dodged a bullet. Trust me. He issues the open challenge. Then Legado comes out, led by Santos, looking handsome as fuck. And he more or less says, like, why don't you ever say anything cool? Like, skull, bar, C. And I'm like, yeah, that's 1000% correct. And again, I say this country does not deserve Santos or any member of Legado after the election last Tuesday. Um, but yeah, LA Knight says, look, you and me been there, done that. But the whole time, Garza's kind of staring a hole through him. And he's like, but this guy looks like he wants to, just eat my lunch or, whatever. He looks like he's hungry for an opportunity. And yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a championship match right here tonight. I loved Garza's look in this. I thought his ring gear looked great. I love the body paint. I thought he had great intensity here because I actually watched a clip of this because you know that I missed both this match and the more shocking development, which we'll get to in a second. But I know you've been a huge advocate of oh, excuse me. Foster's been correcting me. It was Umberto. It was Umberto. It was Umberto that did this. I know you've been a huge advocate of Umberto for years. How do you feel like he shined in this? Because I thought he looked great.
Yeah, I agree. He did look great. This was a really nice, refreshing reminder of just how good this guy is in the ring. Um, really well worked match for sure. Um, really just kind of a nice little reminder of like, yeah, this guy isn't just kind of a generic background character. This guy can really go. This guy could be doing a lot more for sure. And I hope that this moment earns him something down the line. I don't know what, but it would be really nice to see him get more to do for sure.
Bro, I just want factions to normalize this behavior, man. You don't need like one established singles guy, a tag team, and a woman if you're so inclined, which I'm glad to see that's becoming more normalized over the years.
Yeah.
You can have people mix it up. You can have Santos team with one of the guys, and then the free guy, he could do singles, then Santos can go back to doing singles for a little bit, mix it up. That's one thing. Like the New Day kind of did it, but I will always feel like the New Day never did it to their full potential either. But all that to be said, that I do agree with you that I felt like Umberto was really, really good here. I think he did a drop kick at one point that looked freaking gorgeous. I'm like, man, this dude's stuff looks so good. Again, I love the aesthetic too. He really looked like he belonged there and like more of an established guy.
Yeah, his
But
bumping
Ellen,
and selling were really what stood out to me. He bumped his
yes,
ass off for Knight.
he really did. He really did. And I'll give Knight credit and enjoy this Super Blue because I really don't want this to happen often. I don't want you to expect it either. But his elbow drop looked good. And the BFT is so dependent on who's taking the move. And I feel like for Umberto, like he made it look good this week, but there have been some people that make it look like shit. And so it's really dependent on the person taking the move. But like, I just wish he'd get a better finisher. I don't know. Um, so that was that. But then afterwards, the Wayward Samurai Shinsuke Nakamura returns and lays out freaking Knight in a freaking Sith Walker robe that looked freaking amazing. Like I really really like Nakamura's look here. I personally hope he wins the U.S. title. I mean, he is older now. He's put in a lot of years in his career. I no longer have any aspirations for a world title run for him personally. So I think mid card is the best we can kind of hope for. And yeah, I think this Nakamura could definitely elevate the U.S. title because, quite honestly, we have had two shitter champions back to back. I mean, Logan Paul more of a shitter as a human being. His matches have been anywhere from fine to great, actually. But Knight just doesn't do it for me at all. I mean, if you can't beat the stick up your ass, how can I expect you to beat anybody else? So I am personally rooting for Darth Nakamura. What did you think about this return of the new look? You got any notes?
I think he looks fantastic. Yeah, literal like Sith Lord energy for sure. He looks amazing. He looks better than I've seen him look in a long time, and this is the first time really since LA Knight won the US title that I've really felt inspired and hopeful that the challenger going up against him can actually beat him for the title.
Yes. Yes. All right. So just in thinking about the order that I kind of enjoy things, since I'm kind of like running ship at least on the SmackDown side. Let me think here. I think I want to talk about tag titles next. Um, And I think with tag titles, we had the Street Profits versus the Machine Guns, Motor City Machine Guns, Saban and Shelley. This was a decent match. I expected it to get up to next gear, but I didn't get to do that because Blue Lives Matter Tommaso Ciampa uh, fucking interrupted and made a beeline for the Profits. How do you feel about the Guns so far in WWE, man? Because they pushed them so fast, but I
Yeah,
feel
they
like they're
did.
kind
They
of
pushed him really
holding. Yeah.
fast, and what I love the most about the fact that they got pushed so fast isn't even the fact that the Motor City Machine Guns are getting featured heavily in WWE. I've never been the biggest Motor City Machine Guns fan. I don't have a problem with them. They're fine. I don't have like they're cool. I like them, but I don't love them. The thing that I love the most about it though is how many other storyline developments are coming out of it. Champa turning heel, the Street Profits getting character growth out of it. I think those two alone are enough to justify this push for the Motor City Machine Guns, and it gets me very excited about both of those, and really specifically the Street Profits, because like Champa is something that could go very south very quickly if it just leads to another Champa Gargano feud, but this time it's on SmackDown. But if we get a more serious and maybe even a full blown heel Street Profits, I will be very excited about that. That's already just the way that they were like kind of not having it with the Guns after the DQ on SmackDown, I just loved the energy immediately and already.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree with you ultimately. Um, Ciampa again, the Blackheart Tommaso Ciampa in NXT, the Black and Gold era. That's always going to be lightning in a bottle to me. I don't think you necessarily replicate that so easily, but I'll be damned if they're not going to try. And I look at him kind of assaulting these tag teams and trying to establish dominance as interesting because, like, if you really feel like Johnny is the problem, why not cut him loose? But I think Champa, I don't know, maybe it is kind of continuity because he knows he's been down that road before and he doesn't want to do it again, but he does want to succeed with Johnny.
Yeah,
But it's
like to me, the
frustrating.
best case scenario there is like Champa and Gargano turn heel together. Like Champa's like, no, 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 we gotta do this, we gotta do this, and Gargano's like, no, I'm a good guy, I want to be a good guy, and Champa's like, no, 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 fuck you, this is what we need to do in order to get things done, and eventually Gargano's like, fine, then he turns heel with him, like hesitantly, he kind of accepts begrudgingly almost that it's what they have to do and that he does it. Whereas like with Street Profits, I just love them and I want them to succeed and I want to see different shades of their characters. And one shade that we've literally never seen before is like a full blown proper heel run out of them. Like we kind of teased that they were going to be heel when they were with Lashley, but they literally just didn't really get a chance to do that because that group didn't last very long at all. And even when they were around, they didn't really get heel reactions because everyone loved them. Um, and even like in NXT, they were like a little bit more serious towards the tail end of their run, but they weren't really heels. So like, yeah, I want like a heel Street Profits. And yeah, I'm just very curious to see where this goes. That's the big thing.
Yeah, and I want to go back to something Javora said in the chat. Um, and he said, here's my thing. I want the Street Profits to separate and do singles. And commentary even made this exact point on Friday.
Oh, did they? I missed it.
Well, yeah, because Corey said that he was talking to one of the prophets, and I want to say it was Dawkins, but I can't say for sure. And I think whoever had this conversation with Corey, that matters. That's why I tried to be attentive to it. But he said, whichever one, and again, I'm presuming Dawkins said that, we have thought like maybe it's time to, spread our wings and do something a bit different. So there was like no hostility, but it's just both members of this team recognize maybe we've plateaued. We're definitely like in stasis. We just seem to be stuck in this one spot. And if you're arrested in place, you stagnate and you die. And obviously, we want this wrestling thing to work. And so Caster's saying it was Montez. I could believe that because I think he's always been positioned as potentially the bigger single star. And that's another reason why this match is kind of interesting to me because I was thinking, is Dawkins going to eat the pin? Because if Dawkins ate the pin, then Montez could look at him a certain way. That hasn't happened yet, obviously, because we just talked about how Ciampa ran interference. I don't know what I want these guys to do. I've been the guy for years that has said Montez and Bianca as a heel power couple sounds like money just waiting to be fucking made. But here's the thing, a lot's changed since I've last said that. And I feel like I haven't said it in a while, to be fair. For one thing, Triple H is now in charge. For another thing, whether he wants to hear it or not, he doesn't seem to be that down with the black talent on his show. I'm sorry, but when you get called out by a reporter about their lack of presence on PLEs and you deflect it by, asserting color blindness, which has its own problems, that's not a great look, right? Not to mention, I think another thing that's changed, if we're going to have a really honest and thorough conversation, is Montez is still really good, but I think Dawkins is kind of closing in on him a little bit. The dude's been putting in the work and he looks freaking great. Now, that's not to say you can't push both of them. In an ideal world, I think you would. But I don't know if WWE would be interested in doing that. So there are a lot more variables now than there used to be. I think there used to be a time where it was very clear cut, like, yeah, they'll have their time as a tag team. And that's another thing, too, because I really thought their time as a tag team, they were going to be more decorated by now. I thought they were going to have like New Day level success, and that really hasn't happened. So it's a very interesting place that the Street Profits are in right now. And I just wonder how they're going to want to manage that because if the Guns and the Profits manage to settle this, does Dawkins eat the pin and Tez turns heel? Does Tez eat the pin and Dawkins maybe turn heel? Do They eat the pin and they amicably break up. What are we gonna do here? And so, yeah, that's really where I'm fixated. Champa can fuck off as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure the heel run will be fine, but it's not gonna be anywhere close to Blackheart for me. So I'm like, I'm good, right? You can do whatever you want. I already got the best years out of you, probably, and the best storytelling that you're gonna do. So I'm fine. And Johnny, a guy that I once thought could be like Daniel Bryan 2.0 for WWE, he's just kind of there for me and has been for a while. I mean, if anything, if I'm being perfectly honest, Candice is more interesting to me than Johnny is right now, especially with how she helped Naya in the main event, which we'll get to later. But yeah, I don't know. The Street Profits are the story here. It's just what story does this company want to tell? And then let's see. Caster said, yeah, I agree, Caster. We'll get to that. In fact, we might as well talk about that next since you brought it up. The women's US title tournament, we had I think we only had one first round matchup, right? The one triple threat, which was Bailey versus Candice versus BFAB. What did you think about this match, man?
It actually did open the show, and it wasn't that long of a match, and surprisingly, Candice LeRae won. I mean, I say surprisingly, but really the only surprise here would have been if BFAB won. I think that
Yeah,
Bailey and Candice were both pretty viable winners here. And I shouldn't say it opened the show because there was like a Cody Rhodes thing that actually opened the show that pissed me off, but I muted my TV and was able to ignore it for the most part. And then the first match on the show was this triple threat women's United States Championship tournament match. Um,
where Bailey got the win on BFAB rolling her
Wait,
up.
Bailey won? I thought
Yeah,
Candice won.
no, Bailey won. That's why she came out later in the main event of the show, did Candice, to kind of get back at Bailey because she was
What
she
the
was pissed that
fuck?
Bailey presumably took this
Okay,
opportunity
so
from her.
apparently my memory is just, or really, I shouldn't even say my memory. It must have just been a situation where I just wasn't paying enough attention because I could have sworn that I watched Candice LeRae win this match. Um,
No, Bailey rolled BFAB up, bro.
okay, well, okay. So Bailey wins then. I still stand by the idea that the only real surprise here would have been BFAB winning. Um,
Yes.
which, BFAB being in the match as the pin taker still makes the most sense. Um, Bailey advancing though is very interesting. We do have a bracket, by the way. Did you see the bracket, John?
I did, because
So
I
it's
know
Bailey
Chelsea's in a
is going to
triple
be
threat match.
advancing against the winner of the best first round triple threat, which is Bianca versus Chelsea versus Blair. That match is going to slap. Hoping Chelsea wins that, but really you can't go wrong. Any of those women advancing would be pretty fire. Bianca, obvious, not even gonna need to justify it. She's the best. Chelsea, fucking fantastic. Blair, pretty goddamn good in her own right. And then on the other side of the bracket, you've got a Jade Cargill, Meechin, Piper Niven triple threat that got teased at some point during this show, with specifically Meechin and Piper talking shit. And then the winner of that will face the winner of the triple threat between Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Elektra Lopez. I love that Elektra Lopez is in this tournament at all. I have been
Yes.
waiting for her to finally get more match time. It feels like we literally haven't seen her wrestle since she was in NXT. Like her last match, I think, was her match with Lola in NXT. It's crazy. But I'm fully expecting Naomi to win that match. It wouldn't surprise me if Tiffany won. Electra winning would be a very pleasant surprise. I would be very happy about that. It would actually be really cool if that like side of the bracket came down to Electra and Jade. These just like two Amazonian women. It would be really cool. We've got Bailey then, and again, whoever wins that stacked triple threat is a win-win-win for me. Really, I think the only woman who is really around that could win and piss me off is Tiffany, and that probably isn't going to happen because she does have money in the bank, and they probably are going to put a championship on someone who already has money in the bank. So I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree with you pretty much on everything.
Piper would probably piss me off to a certain degree, but she's not like super offensive as a winner.
I mean, Caster says I think Bianca will win, and while I would love for Bianca and Bailey to lock it up again, first of all, I want it with more of a substantive story. A tournament is not a story; it's a mechanism. And I still feel like Bianca and Bailey have some shit to work through for Bianca to kind of trust in this new, more good Bailey, if she ever even does. Secondly, as far as the tournament as mechanism goes, I want a Meech and Chelsea Green final.
Yeah, I
I
was
feel
gonna
like
say,
they've had
is
a
it bad that
yeah.
I think Bianca's above this?
No, I don't think so. Because I honestly think Bailey's above this, and if Candace wasn't already the speed champion, the speed women's champion, I would have wanted her to advance in this, quite honestly.
Frankly,
Um,
I would only agree. I would agree that about Bailey being above this if they hadn't treated her like an afterthought for the better part of this year. Like she won the Royal fucking Rumble, and she won the WWE Women's Championship at Wrestle fucking Mania, and yet it feels like she's an afterthought. Like she's. Why does Bailey feel like the way AEW treats Mariah May and Jamie Hayter? Fuck.
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't like it, especially when you put it in those terms. I have quite a visceral reaction to it, to be quite honest. But I feel like Michin and Chelsea, we've been saying if they got a women's mid card championship, those two names always come up.
Yeah.
I think they have done amazing television together. And
I tell you
really,
what,
I'd be
dude, I've been seeing a lot of people saying they think it's going to come down to Bianca versus Jade in the finals. I'm telling you right now, if that happens, I have Jade winning, and Bianca's going to get bitter about it, and it's going to lead to a breakup.
and see, bro, like I don't disagree about that being a possibility. What I will say in response to that is that I hope it's a possibility they don't act on.
I
I'm
agree.
telling you,
I agree.
yeah, I think you and I personally, I think you and I are in agreement on this that it's Meech and Chelsea. I feel like this
I
championship
hope
was
you're right.
made
I really do.
for them and their feud. I hope I'm right too, because God knows I ain't batting 1,000 on here, and I never have. But I don't know. I just don't like that. Like, yes, I do feel like inevitably Jade and Bianca will clash. And honestly, bro, if one of them wins the women's United States Championship, which again, like you said, you heard that it might be Jade, I could see them having like a big title match. Maybe they would even want to stretch that out at Mania. I don't know. Because maybe Bianca would turn heel, quote unquote, which I hate the idea of Bianca being heel with how beloved she is. I mean, let's keep in mind in the draft this year, I think she was the number one overall draft pick for SmackDown. I mean, that's pretty fucking insane. And yet you wouldn't really know it given the kind of muted year that she's had. Like, yes, she's been women's tag team champions with Jade. I think now this is their second reign because they had that one interruption from Alba and Isla. But yeah, I mean, them feuding, we've always known that it was going to happen. I just feel like there's a better way. I don't want them to use the Women's United States Championship for that when,
Yeah.
like you just said earlier, you feel like Bianca's above it, and Jade may not be above it yet, but she soon will be. Like, it's very clear WWE wants her to succeed. And I feel like how many fucking crazy ass bumps do either Mishin or Chelsea have to take? How quality does their work have to be before they get the nod for something? So yeah, if that would be the final, I love Bianca and I respect Jade, but personally, I'd be a little pissed because I'd be like, you're really passing over two caliber women to really represent that championship, and I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
Doesn't that
So
feel a lot though? Like we're almost making like the Dolph Ziggler argument. Like how many times does this guy need to bump his ass off and sell and go through tables and shit before he finally gets recognition? Like that's pretty much what we're doing here with Michin and Chelsea, right?
And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think also, Chelsea, especially, I would say more than Meechin for me personally, has also shown to be a great personality.
Yeah.
Whereas Dolph, you can go back in the archive. I've said after a couple number of years that Dolph's promos always seem to kind of be one note and kind of
Yeah.
run into each other.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Chelsea, she's very pliable to situations. She
Yeah.
comes up with nicknames. Like she has genuine
Chelsea's
charisma.
one of the best female performers in the world, and really scratch female. Chelsea is one of the best performers in the world.
Yeah. And Meechin, I think Meechin has charisma too, but in a very like markedly different way from
Understated.
Chelsea. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the perfect word
He has a
actually.
quiet charisma.
Yes, a
You
hundred
know what we
percent.
call that? Presence.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that like Dolph, because I feel like the two peaks of my Dolph fandom were when he first came in and feuded with Ray for the Intercontinental title. I still believe he should have won one of those matches in that feud. And when he was feuding with CM Punk and seemingly like on that main event cusp, and then of course Money in the Bank and all that stuff. I mean, he had his great eras where we were all behind him for sure. But yeah, even if you do want to say we're making the Dolph Ziggler argument, Dolph had his day too. And I feel like we are in the day of Meechin and Chelsea Green. And I just hope the WWE agrees. So we'll have to see. Speaking of the women, Naomi and Nia ate this week. Really fun main event for the women's championship. And I feel like it was drama and tension done right.
This was
You know,
Nia. I think maybe Nia's best match ever.
I think it was. I
At
would co
least
sign on that.
among Nia's best matches ever, because I know she's had a pretty decent match with like Sasha before, and maybe another match or two that have been good, but this is the best match of hers that I can remember at least. This was fantastic. There was tension. It was there. I mean, the moonsault slam reversal was chef's kiss, fantastic.
Yes. Yes. 1000%. Uh, yeah, I mean, they did some great stuff here, some really great stuff. And again, when I say tension done right, you have beforehand Naomi backstage with Bailey. Bailey's kind of pumping her up, saying, "Hey, I got your back." And then, Bianca's kind of laughing about that, being like, "Trust." It's funny that you would, talk about trust or like watching backs or whatever. And then they're like, "We got this," which I'm like, man, Naomi's allowed to have friends that aren't you. Like, relax. Like, what does she want to do?
See,
But
but
yeah,
it's not about the jealousy or anything like that. It's not like, oh, we don't want you having friends other than us. It's literally specifically Bailey. Like they don't trust Bailey because of damage control for years.
right. And that is understandable. It's just, Naomi's also made clear to them in character, like, hey, I wasn't here for all that. Bailey's got a clean slate with me. And to be honest, I'm actually surprised they've kept this going on for as long as they have, because I would have thought that one of their fuses would have exploded by now.
You know what? I
But
honestly, just personally, I actually really appreciate the perspective of Jade and more specifically Bianca here more than anyone. Really, if you think about it, it is Bianca here who has the perspective, and the real feud, not feud, but like the real sort of battle of ideologies is between Naomi and Jade. Because Bianca's the one with the experience. Bianca's the one who's known Bailey the longest. Bianca's the one who was around, the one that Bailey, I don't want to say tortured, but like harassed at least with damage control for what, like a year and a half at least, if not more.
that sounds correct. Yeah, I think you're
And
right.
Jade shows up and Bianca tells her and kind of fills around the situation, and she just fucking believes her and knows to avoid Bailey. Naomi shows up, and Bianca tells her and is like, okay, but she didn't do that to me though. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna give her another chance anyway. Like, I'm sorry, but like in my mind, Jade is 100% in the right here because like if I meet a friend and they say, "Oh, by the way, that person harassed me for a year and a half. Stay away from them." I'm gonna fucking believe them, and I'm gonna stay away from that person. And in my opinion, if a new person comes up to me and wants to be my friend, and I'm like, "Oh, by the way, that person harassed me for a year and a half. Stay away from them," and then I see him hanging out with them, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off. I'm gonna be like, "Wow, that feels like a betrayal."
yeah. And we have people go through this in real life. Granted,
Yeah,
for things far worse than what damage control did, in character, of course, but the same principle I think still holds. And so I don't know if that reflects poorly on Naomi. I don't really like to think of Naomi that way, but I get why people would, right? As somebody that tries to see the good in everybody to my own detriment more often than not, I sympathize with Naomi, but at least she hasn't been bitten yet. Not yet. But yeah, where I say that this was tension done right, you have Bianca and Jade, assure Naomi that we've got your back. Well, you forgot about two people known as Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez because they show up and they lay them out. And again, I say, can I just remind everybody again, Liv Morgan, I thought Roxanne had problems. Nah, bruh. I don't know if any women's champion has more problems right now than Liv Morgan. Why are you picking fights with people? Why are you doing
especially
this,
people who
man?
can whoop your ass in a fair fight.
Dude. I mean, Io and Kyrie, which now she's got to worry about Io because she won the battle royal.
Yeah.
Rhea, who don't think she's not coming back because you didn't kill her. So I'm pretty sure every waking moment of her life is like, I am gonna kill that bitch. And now Bianca and Jade, what are you doing, woman? What are you doing right now? Um, Not to mention the Judgment Day may be having issues, and we will get back to that. Hope Trevor Leach doing well on the Indies, but yeah, I they just lay out Bianca and Jade, and I'm like, okay, we're doing this. Um, Naomi doesn't even know what's happening, because she's in the middle of a freaking title match. And so that's happening. But then Tiffany comes out at one point when Naomi's about to do some offense. But then Bailey keeps her word. See, I like this though, because it'd be one thing. And again, this happens a lot IRL of that same warning. If you never saw that person that was warned about, like just never doing the work, never taking accountability or anything. And Bayley, even though I wish it was written so much better, you could see like she does value her friendship with Naomi, because when she says, "Hey, I've got your back," she means it. She took care of Tiffany Stratton. And then it was only because she didn't expect Candice out there, even though they've been beefing recently. Maybe Bayley just thought, like, I won the triple threat, so it's over, right? Candice says, no, actually. No, it's not over, and it's not over until I say it's over. And she takes Bayley out. And then, yeah, that's where we get the elevated Samoan drop off the middle rope, which was beautifully taken by Naomi. And credit to Nia, too, on the delivery. And then, yeah, just the Annihilator. That's what they call it. The Annihilator for the 3 count. Yeah, great freaking match. Best match of Nia's career. The best match, in my opinion, that Naomi's had since she's been back in WWE. This was a really, really fun effort by both women. Foster even said he got worked in this match. I know, bud. We love you so much. I got worked too. Yep. I can't lie. You know, when Naomi hit the split-legged moonsault, I thought that was it. I thought, oh my God, they're giving her the fucking title. What the fuck? Because we know that her and Tiffany have history. So, like, even if Tiffany would have cashed in on her immediately afterwards, I'm sure this group would have been pissed. But I would have been like, okay, that makes sense. But I'm like, man, they're really about to give Naomi the title. And then Nia kicked out, and I'm like, oh, well, that's still good, though, because that makes Nia seem so badass. Like, she just took Naomi's finish and kicked out. Like, that's like some Mark Henry shit, because I'll never forget when he was world champion, and he had a match with John Morrison, and fucking Morrison hit Starship Pain, and I was thinking, oh, my God, he won. No, that doesn't happen here. And then Nia was pretty much the same way. So, yeah, this was a really, really well-done match. I really, really enjoyed this. And then, yeah, Nia has got her own little group now. She's got Tiffany with the briefcase and Candice, who, I mean, nobody gives a shit about the Speed Championship, but, she does have an axe to grind. And, now she's found a new pack given, given the release of Indy Hartwell recently. Go follow Indy on YouTube, everybody. If you're not subscribed to her, she's doing well. She's bouncing back. But yeah, if you guys noticed, I didn't talk about fucking Chody Rhodes because I want to save that shit for last. I don't even really want to talk about Chodius. I want to talk about how Kevin Owens is fucking magnificent and deserves a clean fucking planet with clean air, and that Cody and his tour bus can fuck right off. Yeah, Cody's like, oh, let me handle Kevin Owens. And he does the emotional plea to fucking Aldis, not too dissimilar to how Orton did the plea with Triple H to get the match with Kevin Owens in the first place. You people, you don't know what you're asking for. You're like, oh, give me Kevin Owens. And then you get Kevin Owens and then you cry about it. Maybe suck less. I don't know. Just one unbiased opinion. Aldis is like, no, Cody, I'm going to handle it because I can't let the inmates believe they're running the asylum. Now, I will give Aldis credit for this. He is not Adam Pearce, mainly because he's not bald, but also because he's not just going to make an excuse. Oh, well, this is how the show should be, with fucking Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed, or Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. Wow, it seems like Bronson Reed's the common denominator, just brawling everywhere all over the show. Aldis isn't going to have that, and I respect it. But also, Cody's a douche. So whatever happens to him, I really don't give a shit. So Kevin at first tweets that it's hilarious that somebody wants to talk about his Lamborghini when Cody has his own goddamn tour bus. And I know you love that because you exclaimed in the Discord, Kevin Owens understands praxis. And yeah, you're goddamn fucking right that he does. And then he does like an in-car promo. I love that he's been doing these. I love the feel of these, where he says that Aldis invited him to SmackDown next week because Cody wants him there. And then Kevin mocks like, oh my God, Cody wants me there? Well, of course. That's right, Kevin. That's right, Kevin. He can fuck off. Not my WWE champion. Not my goddamn WWE champion. That'll be the first thing I tweet when I get a Blue Sky account for TWitWoW. Will be hashtag not my WWE champion at Cody Rhodes. Fuck yourself. So yeah, I am fully on Kevin Owens' side. I think it's perfectly okay to dissociate from people that want to side with abusers and be like, oh, but this is the bigger threat. No, I'm pretty sure the bigger threat is the guy that screwed me out of the championship multiple times, that talked to my kids directly after he beat the crap out of me and insulted my dead grandparent. I think that's the bad guy, Cody. And I think you can eat shit, and you ruined my friendship with Randy Orton, who I love. But I'm going to stop myself because I can't be that vulnerable, because clearly all the world wants to do is hurt me. Fuck you, Cody. I really can't wait for this fucking title match. I hope Cody eats a pile driver, and while I'm expecting him to, and to kick out at 1, which is going to piss me the fuck off. I'm also hoping for a miracle that
Are
doesn't
you
happen. And
sincerely expecting Cody to kick out at 1, or is that just you memeing?
I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, he kicked out at 1 on a burning fucking hammer. So is anything sacred? I don't think so.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I forget
Um,
what match did he kick out at 1 of a burning hammer against?
that wasn't that a match with AJ or something? And then like I forget what PLE it was at, but I think it
I'm
was a match with
tired, John.
AJ.
I'm tired.
I know. I'm tired too. I'm tired of this fucking sanctimonious piece of shit in his fucking
Yeah.
title reign.
Yeah.
But I do hope instead, see, my version would be because you have to make Cody look really, really, really strong, that Kevin pile drives him, but Cody just is wobbly legged. He gets back up on his feet pretty quickly, but then he eats a stunner, and then Cody is just barely on his feet, pop up power bomb, fucking 3 count. New WWE champion, Kevin fucking Owens, and I thereby lose No Nut November because god damn it, he's a fucking father and he deserves this. I mean, let me ask you people. You're all sensible people, nowhere near as emotionally maladjusted as I am. Who do you really want as your WWE champion? Cody, the man with the neck leprosy Rhodes, or Kevin Owens? I mean, I think the choice is clear. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this progressing next week. I hope Kevin Owens breaks out an old school black and gold promo and says, I'm a prize fighter. I fight for a prize. I really don't give a shit about your relationship with Randy Orton. I don't care what you feel you owe him. I don't care about your vengeance. I'll get in the ring with you, but that's got to be on the line because see that the old Kevin Owens, the one that wanted to be good to the worst possible person, which by the way, thank you as well, Cody, from me personally, because all I wanted was a babyface Kevin Owens to get redemption. But see, Kevin taught us a valuable lesson. Sometimes you're pursuing redemption with the wrong fucking people. You ruined it, Cody. You ruined it. He was trying to be a good person. He was really trying. And you had to go and, well, I mean, be you and
Cody it
ruin
up.
everything and Cody it up. So fuck you. Fuck you for ruining a man's redemption. You're a piece of shit. So yeah, this Kevin Owens, the one that isn't going to be like, oh, I don't deserve it, Cody. I haven't won any of my matches. No, the Kevin Owens that will ruin your fucking life while I laugh at you as you writhe on the canvas like a worm. That Kevin Owens, I want to see go to Survivor Series, and you won't survive his series of fucking violence as he takes that championship from you. Suck my nuts. So yeah, that was the segment I wanted to kind of close SmackDown on because I'm fucking loving this Kevin Owens. And let's be real, I just fucking love Kevin Owens, period. And the idea, just one stray that I want to give out before we move on. Samuel Schmooly, as Heyman calls you. Did you seriously? Because I missed this, but apparently he did this on Raw. Did you seriously ask Kevin Owens to be on your fucking team? You know what, Sammy? I like you, but you could get a pile driver too. You could get it too. And you too, Cole. Oh, Kevin Owens is nuts. He needs to be stopped. You literally call your fans coal miners. Sit the fuck down. Take several seats, actually. I don't want to hear from you. Fucking basic ass. And so, yes, that's my opinion. Kevin Owens is right about everything. Cody ruined everything, and anything that we were enjoying about babyface Kevin Owens is dead now because Cody had to be a douche.
So
Does
because
anybody have any
Cody had to
notes?
be Cody.
Exactly. See, you get the last word here because that was perfect. All right, all right. Now let us. You know what? I didn't watch Raw, so let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get this fucking out the way. What do you remember about Raw? Do you feel like it was a good show this week? Just a general question for you.
That's a good question. Why don't I pull up a recap to remind myself of everything that happened on the show? Because I don't remember
You
much.
you do that.
Gunther Damian Priest segment I remember being pretty good. Although, God, Ludwig Kaiser I am just not a fan of anymore at all.
Oh, why did he lose you? Is it
No,
just
I
like
just don't like him on the mic at all. And
oh,
like
okay.
his character acting is just way too over the top and like cringe to me. I just am not a fan. Like he's good enough in the ring, but like not good enough to overcome his inadequacies.
Yeah.
At least in my
I can
opinion.
understand that. Yeah. I think he's really solid in ring, but I don't really have much to say about the mic, but probably because I agree with you at bottom, honestly. So
Yeah. Damage control continues to do really, really well, and that's always wonderful to see, especially with Dakota Kai back. I love that she's back already. I did not expect that. Really
Should she please
sad.
stay healthy for at least a calendar year? Like, I don't want to lose
I,
Dakota again. Like,
I would really like that. Yeah, maybe even several calendar years would be even better.
several's the idea. I'm just asking as a minimum. Can we just
Right.
get through 1 year? You know,
Yeah.
like fuck.
Really sad about Kofi and Xavier not being on the same page still. That's just unfortunate and makes
But
me.
oh, actually, with you just mentioning that in passing, you were hyping up this 10-year anniversary. I was expecting a big main event segment
I
with
was
video
hyping it
packages
up. What do you
interspersed.
mean I was hyping it up?
No, 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 no. I'm sorry, sir. I implicated you wrong. No, I meant like Raw. When I said
Oh,
you, I should have said like Pierce and Raw. So I should have said that. That's on me. I didn't mean you. But no, like Pierce as a character was like, oh, we're gonna commemorate 10 years of the New Day. I was expecting video packages throughout the night, like little highlight things of like New Day greatest moments, culminating in a main event segment to really push story forward. But instead, you just do an argument segment again. I feel like that was a wasted opportunity personally. And Big E wasn't even on the show from what I understand. I didn't hear anything about Big E being on the show, so I'm like,
no.
what the fuck?
Well, no. I
Yeah.
mean, they didn't even do the 10-year anniversary thing. They literally. Here's the thing. Um, Adam Pearce apparently announced that WWE will dedicate a special episode of Raw to celebrate 10 years of the New Day. This is something that was like almost 2 weeks ago at this point. But like, I don't know if they meant that it was going to be this week's episode because I
So it
don't
could
think
just be on me for presuming
no, I don't even
incorrectly.
think it's on you. I think it's on us, like as a collective, like the internet, our server, like everyone in general, as a collective, just kind of assuming that when Pierce said the WWE is going to dedicate a special episode of Raw to celebrate 10 years of the New Day, that we thought that he meant this coming Raw would be that.
Right. Okay.
Let me look up
Hmm.
the New Day. When did they even begin? When was the origin of the New Day? See, this is weird because the debut of the New Day was in July of 2014. So the 10-year anniversary is like months ago.
Okay.
So I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're doing either.
So all
Huh.
I know is that Kofi and Xavier were bickering and arguing and angry at each other after um, fucking Peter Dune pinned X or pinned Kofi with the bitter end.
I see. All right.
Sad stuff, man. Sad stuff. We got another fucking Bronson Reed Seth Rollins thing. And yeah, again, I am fully expecting for Sethington to be the fifth member of the Roman Reigns bloodline team, which again, I fucking hate. Roman literally decided that hitting Sethington with a chair was more worth his time than retaining his championship at WrestleMania. Like that's the
Which he had
level
held
of
for
hate.
years.
Yeah, like that's the
Yeah.
level of hate that he felt towards Seth not even 7 or I guess a little over 7 months ago. And now all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which is literally that philosophy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That is the glue that holds this entire fucking team together because it is literally just Roman and Jimmy who actually have respect for each other. Jay is only in it for that philosophy. Sammy is only in it for that philosophy. And now Seth is going to be in it only for that philosophy. That's it. This is going to be those two guys, and everyone else is just going to be, well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So we might as well join in with these guys because at least, and it's also the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, too. It's both of those fucking philosophies, which I could also call fallacies, because at the end of the day, those are the two driving things that are keeping Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and eventually Seth Rollins on this Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso Survivor Series War Games team going up against. Dude, Solo's bloodline is going to win that fucking match. I would put money on it. And it's going to be because of Jacob.
I mean, Jacob's a stud. So like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I mean, he really is legit. That's not a stretch to me. Um, I will say though, just when you put the writing that way of like why all these people are coming to Roman's just like consequences. I hardly know her. It's like Jesus Christ, my dude. He's really not gonna have to do any introspection at all. And that's really, really disappointing because like they did such a masterful job. Like, I just want to remind everybody, because I know this story's been going a long time. There are probably things that I'm forgetting, right? But I just want to remind everybody they did a masterful job making Roman just an emotionally and physically abusive piece of shit. Probably one of the best villains for as long as I've been watching wrestling, one of the best villains I've ever seen. And when you have a villain that well crafted and so psychologically meticulous and well presented, you always are going to salivate of, okay, what comes next? Because the villain falls, but obviously Roman isn't like going anywhere, not in that way. So now is like the redemption, right? Or maybe he's still like a really committed villain and he tries again or whatever. And it seems like they want to go the good guy redemption route, but like again, I don't think they've had a single earned moment. Even the crowd, which I'll tell you, goddamn, like I'm learning a lot about people and masses the last couple of months. The crescendo being the election on the 5th. It's just how easily they forget and they forgive. Really, with horrible people, one in IRL with Trump and now in kayfabe with Roman, because the idea that this dude hasn't gotten any boos, I mean, the pops for him have been insane. And it's like, but you remember who this guy is, right? Now, I'm not saying Roman as a person doesn't deserve all the love and goodwill that he gets. Roman as a human being out of the character seems like a fucking sweetheart, and he has done really well by this fucking company. It took them a long time to do right by him and give him this character, but I think he's always put his best foot forward. But the character, I'm like, so you're all just going to let him go like this? That's a lot, man. I don't know. I expected so much more from like the later part of this story because again, those first couple acts with Roman as the villain, so good. I mean, you're talking about a guy that in kayfabe drove Daniel Bryan out of the company,
Yeah.
beat him on his way out. You know, like this dude, the same dude that when Seth Rollins was feuding with him for the title, one of the few times he got himself disqualified. And then when he's beating the crap out of Seth, he says he's the one that won't let it go. I'm not letting go. He's the one that isn't letting it go. Like so many great moments. And then do I even need to touch Jey Uso? Do I even need to touch Jimmy Uso? Like, I mean, fuck Jimmy Uso. I really don't care what happens to him, but Jey Uso, you know, like, I mean, again, just a masterful character and not even one apology. Not even one apology. Um, I don't know. I really don't know. It's just it's fascinating to me actually that they're all doing this. Jay has probably been the best character in this only because he's reminded Roman what Roman's done, and he's been the only one that I've seen that has asserted boundaries. But then you even have the Sammy character being like, hey, you know, apologize to Jay. Like everybody wants you to apologize to Jay specifically. He was the first one. He was victim zero. The start of you just being fucking unhinged. And he's just like, no, so I don't know, man. I don't know. And now Javoris is saying the story progression is annoying the fuck out of him. Is it because of what we're talking about, Javoris, or is it something else entirely? Because you can answer that in chat. Um, but yeah, I expected more from this story, at least on this part, because I do want to like Roman, but more importantly than that, I want earned reasons to like Roman. I don't just want to like
Yes.
him because he's cool. I want to like him because he went through the trial to make me love him. I'm willing to forget. Look, I am sadistic, okay? I actually probably have the lowest bar to forgive Roman out of anybody. Literally, even if he did a half-hearted apology, I would probably be up here and be like, look, he apologized, okay? And then you would be up here and be like, but it wasn't even sincere. And like, you know, because your voice goes up a few octaves when you know I'm just being absurd. And then I'm like, Ashton, it was an apology. Deal with it. And then, you know, we do our thing. But that hasn't even happened. Not even a half-hearted apology because it's still half. There's nothing. It's zero. Zero is less than half. It's fucking insane. So yeah, Roman's just like, I'm right. Deal with it. And I'm like, God, that's so arousing for the worst parts of me, but for the parts of me that do this show, I can't, Roman. I'm sorry. Fuck. But yeah, War Games should still be fun. The fuck were we even talking about on Raw? I don't even know how we got on this, but shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, Damage Control are
We
kind
were
of
talking
baby
about the
faces,
Bronson
man.
Reed, Sami Zayn
That's
feud,
right, Bronson rated
or
Seth.
Bronson Reed
Okay,
Seth.
yeah.
Yeah, Bronson
Yeah,
Seth.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, fuck that whole feud too. I'm sorry, I just can't buy into Bronson Reed. Although I will say,
He
he
looked
did look pretty
honestly,
cool.
it's wild. He looked so much cooler hanging out with the Bloodline than he's looked in years on Raw or NXT or in New Japan.
I'm so glad you feel the same way because I don't even know if you heard me because I know I've got the crisp on everything, but I literally just said
Yeah,
he looked cool. And so yeah,
yeah,
you and I are on the same exact wavelength on that.
yeah. He
Exact same
fits in
wavelength.
with them. He looks like Jacob Fatu's bigger brother or something. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
crazy actually. Like him, Jacob, and Solo would be like a devastating trio, and then like Tama and Tonga are just like fucking dweebs hanging out with him.
yeah. Yeah, I think this is the best spot for Bronson, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm like, you finally found something where you fit, and I'm like, okay, this we might have found something for Bronson Reed. This works. You want to be a main eventer? Then run with this pack because for you to be a main eventer, Bronson, respectfully, it takes a village. Okay. So yeah, I like this. This works for me. This is doing it for me. We'll see what happens with Bronson in this bloodline post war games because I really don't know what to expect. Um, we have Priest continuing to build momentum against Gunther, which that's very interesting. Fuck the Miz Final Testament story. I really don't care. I feel like
dude,
the
so
Wyatt Six
lame.
are also, yeah, I'm
The Final
really not into this.
Testament is the Chris Jericho of WWE because nobody who enters their vortex comes out of it better than they went into it with.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that was beautifully said and very succinctly too. Great job on the economy there.
Ooh.
And Jade and
Tell the
Bianca
rest of the
retain.
country that I'm that good on economy. Maybe I'll be the next president.
Well, I mean, given that they really don't know anything, you don't even have to tell them that you don't specialize in economics. They'll vote for you anyway, because at least you probably know. At the very least, you know how to Google what a tariff is, so that puts you a few leagues above, for fucking sure.
That
Um,
might put me at a disadvantage, though, honestly, in today's world.
yeah, I really, really fucking hate people. And so yeah,
But the
that's
main event
essentially
of
Raw.
Raw
'Cause
was Bianca and Jade versus Liv and Raquel, and obviously Bianca and Jade retained, so there's not much else to talk about. So we can probably move on to NXT.
NXT, which again, for me personally, SmackDown was the best show this week, but NXT brought the fire too. I liked NXT this
I'm
week.
torn. I know you're pretty like definitively on the side of SmackDown being the better show, but I'm more torn. I'm more like I don't know. I can't decide. I really liked both shows a lot. I thought they were both really good.
Before it slips my mind, I need to address just a nitpick I have with NXT this week, and I did have Foster's support and Javaris' support on this. I don't understand why Zarya and Stephanie Vaquer have to do Iron Survivor because you both
They
pinned the
pinned the
champion.
champion. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like especially I'll even say too, especially Stephanie, because like with Zarya, you had like a lot of women on both teams, and so you could say like, oh, it was just very opportunistic. That
Right.
was a standard tag match, and Roxanne was legal, and you fucking pinned her after that twisting sky press, which looked breathtaking. I think it should definitely be a contender for spot of the year. It looked gorgeous. And so I'm just wondering why y'all have to even do this. Then again, I am kind of annoyed with NXT's writing with championship situations because I'm a bit annoyed with the whole Ridge Holland thing too. But I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Let's take this NXT slow, and I think we will just go chronologically. So we begin with Julia and Stephanie versus Lash Legend and Jakara. I really like this tag match. This was so much fun. I think Lash and Jakara have really polished their tag team stuff. And Jakara specifically, if I could give her praise, because we love Mama in this house. We love Big Lash.
Yeah, buddy, we
But
sure do.
Jakara, I feel like she's kind of polished her stuff too. She's gotten better in there. The cross body she did, the assisted cross body off of Lash's shoulders, that looked clean as hell. I was so proud of Jakara. I'm like, that looked beautiful. And I was scared from it first. I'm like, this seems dangerous because I've seen this spot 1,000 times. But normally the person on the shoulders of the bigger person, they're tinier than Jakara is. And I'm like, Jakara, I feel like you might be a little too big for this, but man, that was clean as hell.
Yeah.
Um, Stephanie and Vaquer do alter. I said Stephanie and Vaquer, Julia and Vaquer. It's Stephanie Vaquer. God,
Stephanie and Julia.
God, I'm a brunette, but I feel like a blonde sometimes. Just kidding. We all know blondes are intelligent. I've seen Legally Blonde 1 and 2.
Thanks to
But
my face,
yeah, see what a fucking
I can
socially
trim
conscientious.
it.
Yeah, exactly. What a socially conscientious person this man is. There you go.
First
But
one was
yeah,
better.
Stephanie and Julia win. Then they kind of say, oh, see you at deadline. Cool. I mean, Julia, I get. She got her match and she lost. Stephanie and Zarya, I don't know that. I don't know about that. Um, and yeah, Javaris again. I be saying. Um,
You know what we should do, really? What they should have done is, how many people are in Iron Survivor? Five, right?
like 5, yeah.
Stephanie and Zarya should have gotten instant bids into Iron Survivor without having to earn their spots. They should have just immediately been shot in there right away for having pinned the champion.
Yes.
I think that would have made up for the fact that they have to win Iron Survivor to get a shot in the first place, as a way to be like, okay, we see that you pinned the champion. That's not worth nothing. We're going to give you a buy into the Iron Survivor match.
See, I'm gonna be the asshole here. Cause like I agree with you that's a fair compromise, but like we know Trick is still defending his title at deadline, and it's like, is Roxanne not defending her title? Because if she's not, like, I don't know, I kind of have a problem with that.
Roxanne should defend her
But
title against Tatum.
I don't hate it.
I
I
was
don't hate it.
literally just pulling it out of my ass, but I love it.
Hey, hey! She's not the most implausible. She did win that casket match against
She
Against
did.
Wendy, so she does have some grounds. But the
Truthfully,
idea
she
that
should also just be in the Iron Survivor match.
See, like honestly, if it didn't look like it was going to be so stacked on the women's side, low key, I'm kind of rooting for. Again, that depends if Jada's in it. If Jada's in it, you got to go with her. Jada's so good right now. But honestly, would any of us really be sad if Tatum won Iron Survivor?
I
I
mean,
wouldn't
given
be.
that
Right?
Stephanie and Zarya are in it, I wouldn't be sad, but I would be a little bit miffed.
I wouldn't even be miffed. I would just be befuddled. I would be like, what? But you do you, NXT. You do you. Um, But yeah, I will say the women's division is still looking white hot right now. So white hot that they've kind of made themselves a problem because it's like, oh, we want to put all these stacked women in Iron Survivor. We want it to be the greatest Iron Survivor match of all time. What is Roxanne doing? I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I'm very curious if she's even gonna be on this card because if she isn't, I look at that personally as an oversight. But that's just me. Speaking of women's Iron Survivor, Sol Ruka qualified at Cora Jade's expense. I'm going to be honest, I expected Cora Jade to win this. I was happy to be wrong, though,
I'm
because,
really glad that Soul won this over Cora, because I like Cora. I've grown to like Cora. She really showed me something in that tag match where it was her and Roxanne against Steph and Julia. I really was impressed by Cora in that match, but Solruka is a special talent. We need to get her on as big of a platform as possible, and getting her in that Iron Survivor match definitely going to be a way of showcasing her talents.
I mean, first of all, I completely agree with everything you said. Everything you said. I mean, just copy paste right there. Second of all, I think in the long term, even if people can't see it now, you are doing right by the eventual Cora Roxanne angle because this needs to breathe. Like Cora just got back. Because if Cora was in Women's Iron Survivor, I would expect her to win it, and then I would expect that tension of like, oh, but we're best friends, right? Like you wouldn't come in. No, let that shit breathe. I actually like them together right now. I like that Cora actually seems committed to keeping the title around Roxanne because I'm thinking, like, are you just waiting to get her alone? And then does that turn Roxanne face or is it a way to turn Cora face? So, like, yeah, let it marinate. That meat is just starting to, really fall off the bone, get nice and chewy there. So just take your time. Soul definitely, I think, could use this opportunity, and I'm glad they went this way. Again, I completely agree with everything you said. So we can move on. We got Wesley and Javon.
Cedric.
Yeah, Wesley, Cedric, and Javon. Yeah, like that whole thing. And yeah, we got Cedric versus Wes.
Yeah, I
Really,
was
really fun
low
match.
key. I was pulling for Cedric to get the upset win here, man. I really like Cedric right now. I think Cedric has really found himself, and I know that he's been in the company for a really long time, since that first Cruiserweight Classic, which I think was in what, 2016, 2015, something like that. But
Yeah,
man, he just seems so confident and so self-assured. I'm just rooting for him, man. I really want to see him succeed. He's younger than the main event scene on the main event, or on the main roster, I should say. Like, he's 35, and most of the main event scene is over that age, like 37 to 39, 40 ish. Um, I just really like him, man. I mean, we've both liked him for pretty much the whole time he's been around, or the whole time we've known about him. But his presence and his self assuredness and his confidence in NXT is really shining.
I agree. Again, I think you're really talking for both of us at this point, man, because I completely agree with you again. I think there's something about NXT Cedric. It almost feels like he is sagacious, or to put it another way for everybody, he's sage-like. You know, he really does feel like that mentor figure, but not like in a contrived way. Not in a, hey there, young man, I've been in the business 30 years, and let me tell you, and nothing like that. It's just very calm, very like, hey, I've been here.
So you
I
mean to
see you're
tell me
going
that
on the fence.
he's not doing it in a way that's like the way that Ty Spears is doing it?
Yeah. God, fuck Ty
Dude,
Spears.
I fucking hate his gimmick. He's like, if we had a worst gimmick of the year award, which we don't, I know because I looked because I wanted to put him in there, he would be it.
I hate you so much. I double checked my own spreadsheet. You fuck.
Literally, exactly the truth. Yes, I did. I was like, I fucking hate him. Do we have a worst gimmick of the year award? I need to check. I pulled it up. We don't.
I love that I have both like over it slash like angry voice Ashton kind of down, because that whole like cat story you told me a few days ago, I kind of got that down too. And you're like, yes, that's exactly it. So I've got a good sense of like what done Ashton feels like. And yeah, to be done with Ty Spears would imply that we even started, which we didn't. So
We
he should
used
just
to
get
like
his,
him when he was Ty Dillinger.
he peaked. That was his
He
fucking peak.
peaked when he entered the Royal Rumble at 10 the first time.
Yes. Because that theme song was also fire, I must say.
Yes, it
But
was. That
yeah,
da 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 da. That was sick.
but I gotta say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I feel like nothing makes sense in the world anymore.
Wait,
Wesley might be the first heel that I just don't like. Like that's turned heel. Like the heel
so
turn was,
is Wesley the first heel that's an effective heel for you?
I guess so.
Holy
It's
shit.
it's it's weird. I mean, I love the initial heel turn because fuck friendship. I mean, if you don't expect to get betrayed, you're stupid. But
Holy shit, you
you
can't just call someone stupid. Jesus Christ.
I think I just did, and tell that to Nash Carter's balls because they got hit, and he should have seen it go. Should have wore a cup, Nash.
You should have
Yeah,
woke up. I
yeah.
know.
I don't know. Like when you're friends with somebody, always expect them to betray you because friendships don't last. That's the lesson, kids.
Oh,
And apparently Nash,
oh,
or what's the other one's name? Fucking
oh God. God, I almost said Myron Reed, but he was the one that didn't show up on NXT. Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel.
Trey. Yeah, see, he was the forgettable one, and then he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Putting myself first. Get out of the way."
Duh.
Um, but like, yeah, it's so obvious. How could you not see it? Jesus Christ.
Oh my
But ever since
God.
then, ever since that beautiful fucking heel turn where he was 100% in the right and I lived through him because I'm like, yes, fuck those relationships. It's just really been kind of mid to me. It's really been very lackluster to me. And I really haven't connected with Heel West. And that's
So basically, he's the heel turn of the year, but also the worst heel of the year for you?
possibly, it's weird because I
That's a
really thought we had,
strange little conundrum, isn't it? That's fun.
yeah, like I really felt like we had a moment, you know? I even felt like we maybe for like a brief second had eye contact. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
really connected.
yeah, definitely. Because I'm like, Wes, I see you. I mean, they didn't see it coming, but I see you, you know, which is where you wish you would have sent Nash Carter. I know. But ever since then, it's just been kind of meh. Like, it really is something that he is a genuinely effective heel for me. Because I was happy that Javon Evans beat his ass. Because I'm like, Javon is cooking right now. I'll tell you, if we don't get Oba and Men's Iron Survivor, which let me get this out the way, that man, he deserves a bye. You want to talk about giving buys to people? That man deserves a bye for existing. Because let me tell you something, people. This planet, I am this close to just being like, fuck this planet. I will go as far as to say that Obafemi single-handedly redeems this planet. Argue with the goddamn wall because it wasn't a debate. So yeah, for this man being such a gift to the planet, yeah, sorry, Adam Cole, you can sit down now. We have Obafemi now. He deserves a buy in Men's Iron Survivor. And if he's in it, he's winning it. But if he's not, I think Javon Evans should win 1000%. Because I really do think that the championship match for Trick Williams. And yes, I do say Trick Williams because we're going to get to his next challenger in a moment. But I do think the stand and deliver challenger for him is either going to be Javon or Oba. It's one of those guys. And what I love about it is either way, it's just pure black excellence in the NXT championship picture, which oddly enough, Trick was a part of the first time when it was him and fucking Mello, you know? So, like,
God, I wish I
yeah,
had as much faith in Hickenbottom as you do.
I know. I mean, a last name like that, what the fuck am I thinking? But I really do believe it's either going to be Oba or Javon at Stand and Deliver, and I'm here for it. I think it's going to be great when it happens. But the question is, who gets that nod? Um, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Javon's really cooking at the right time too. But all this to say, to come back to Wes, he did beat Cedric, and I was like, man, Cedric was kind of the better guy in that match to me. I would have popped more if he won. So I guess yeah, we finally found a heel that works for me, but maybe not for the right reasons. I don't know. Because I don't even dislike Wes. I'm just in this really weird place with him. If anything, I'm kind of awed by him. I mean, the dude had major fucking back surgery, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no problem, Chief. Hold the rest of my career that I'm still planning on having." And I'm like, God damn. So Wes as a person is a fucking badass. Let's get that straight. But I don't know. This heel turn just isn't doing it for me. To take a step back, we have Carmen and Ashanti. They're going to be tagging next week against Brinley and Dion Lennox. Dion Lennox, who I want to thank the Discord group for voting for me to be Dion Lennox's true friend so that we can read books together. I won 5 votes to 0. It was 100% shutout. So Ashanti, you can sashay out the door. I know that doesn't really seem derivative of your name, but I couldn't really think of anything else. So, get out. Um, Dion, my man, whenever you want to talk about literature, I'm your guy. I'm sure you could smarten me up considerably. But yeah, they're gonna do a mixed tag next week. And Ashanti is like, man, I can't believe you do this. You're my best friend. And Dion's just like, what? What are
Dude,
you even?
I popped. I popped. I gotta admit, when when Ashanti called Dion his best friend and Dion just gave him that look like the fuck are you on? I popped. I did. It was funny as hell.
Dion Dion can fix me. I believe that 1000%. This dude could fix me because what he showed me with this Ashanti crap is that he's willing to give it to you straight. So I know he would make eye contact with me. I would be distracted because he's making direct eye contact with me. And he'd be like, John, yes, Dion, you are the problem. Yes, Dion, please seek help. Of course, right away. And then I would get a therapist within, like, well, I mean, we have to think about Phantom Networks. So I would say after 3 weeks of dogged phone calls, I'd probably get one. But for Dion Lennox, I would try. People that aren't Dion Lennox, you're all right. But for him, I would try.
Damn.
Or Utami. Utami, if she asked directly, I'd be like, fuck yes. So there we go. Uh, but yeah, he's freaking great. And then also Ava had a talk with all the tag teams, which that's important because that was kind of a running thread throughout the show. Everybody's like, I deserve the next tag team title shot against the dweebs. And then it's like, well, you got to show me, do more
Dude,
than
I
talk.
hate this storyline so fucking much because Shawn Michaels literally wrote the dweebs to be so dominant that he got to write a segment about how dominant they are. What the fuck?
I mean, it did seem pretty masturbatory for
It's
sure.
exceptionally masturbatory, and I'm not willing to accept it. Fuck it.
Well, honestly, normally I'd playfully kind of tease you a little, but you seem very adamant about this, so I'm
I'm
not even going to challenge.
pissed.
Okay, okay, okay. I said I wasn't going to challenge it. I'm innocent. Oh man. Then we get Trick Williams. He sets up this whole thing with Ridge. But here's the thing.
Oh, brother.
Dude, I know. Andre Chase also comes out, and like,
I
I wish
actually
I could
liked
let.
this segment, honestly.
Oh yeah, that makes one of us. Actually, since you liked it, bud, you could set the table for us and say what you liked about it. How did you feel about this segment? Talk us through your thought process.
I really like that Trick wanted to give Andre an opportunity at the title, and Ridge just wasn't having it because, like, he basically earned the title shot already. And then Andre tried to gamble his way into the title shot anyway, and Ridge still wasn't having it until Trick was like, "That's all right, Andre. You've still got every one of your friends. You've still got the Andre Chase section. You've still got Riley, which, like, who fucking wants Riley? You've still got Duke, you've still got Thea, and that made Ridge realize, wait a minute, there's still something else I can take away from him. And that's what made Ridge willing to accept the fucking gamble. That was so good to me. I loved
That is fair. I just, again, like, I'm not. There are two things here. I have said for a while that I actually think Andre Chase is one of the better underdog performers that WWE has. And I always did imagine that one day he would get a shot at the NXT championship. I just didn't think it would be like this. Like, this isn't what I envisioned. I envisioned him just being a part of like some kind of hodgepodge match, maybe like a fatal five way or a battle royal or whatever. And then he just gets like the shocking win. And it's like, oh my God, Andre Chase, like number one, and they do like that whole story. I didn't expect it like this, and I don't know if that's better or worse. I think that's really just entirely subjective. But I really also, again, have to be the fly in the ointment and be like, I get that, and this I think is more defensible to be fair than Vicaire and Zarya having to do Iron Survivor because I do not get that at all, and I'm not budging on, right? Like I'm very committed. Like that needs to be explained to me. This at least, and I have to credit you for this because you pointed this out to me in Discord or the way that you presented it to me, I thought was very palatable, is that it shows it's a character flaw in Ridge. Because I'm pretty sure if Ridge wouldn't have taken the bait and he was like, no, I opinion I deserve the title match, like Ava as a character, she looks at the evidence and she's all about people earning shit. She'd have to say whether she likes Andre or not, because I'm sure she has her favorites, but she doesn't let that cloud her judgment. Yeah, Ridge pinned you. He's getting the shot at deadline. But because Ridge just had to take it, had to hurt Andre even more, it is excusable with it being a character thing. I just wish we didn't have to jump through all these hoops. Because here's my other concern. If Ridge doesn't win this, which I'm kind of afraid now that he's not going to, but if he does, I really want Duke Hudson specifically to beat the fuck out of Andre and be like, you know what? Screw this school. I'm glad we're breaking up. If our lives were so meaningless to you that you were going to gamble them away, I don't need you anyway. And then I don't know what Thea does, and Riley can fuck off on WWE speed. Um, but I worry that if like Ridge loses this, he'll just be an Iron Survivor and he might win it. And I'm telling you, I want either Javon or Oba. Those are my two guys. I'm really not budging on anybody else. Like, because I can't think of any men on the NXT roster that'd be like,
I mean, to be
yeah,
fair,
that's
they
the guy.
did give everyone what they wanted last year for Iron Survivor, so they could give us a heel this year, and it would be like kind of evening things out. You know what I mean?
But Oba is still technically a heel, so it would still
Yeah,
be
but
giving me what I
everyone
want.
wants him to win, though.
Yeah, but maybe not everyone. Maybe
But
maybe
enough
just
people that it's like, can we really count him as a heel, even though he's a
But
heel?
here's the thing, though. We can though, because dude, here's the thing, and I can't believe it actually works out in our favor for once. Full Sail is fucking awful. You know they'll turn on
That's
Oba
true.
eventually. You just have to give them the right reason to. So then we get what we want covertly. We'll keep our cheers to be like little mini baby squeeze that they won't even hear, while Full Sail
I
does the
don't think
dirty
I'm
work and
capable
they
of
make
that
him.
with Oba, by the way.
You need to fucking try, okay?
I
That
won't.
Listen to me right now. I am putting immense pressure on you, which I know will create another complex. I don't care. You need to do
I
this. You
perform
need to come through on this.
extremely under pressure.
Okay, well, you need to do this because if you don't do it, then Opa's not winning Iron Survivor. And who do you want to win? Ridge? Because that'll be what happens. That'll be what happens. If
I mean,
Javon wins, I
if
think we can
Ridge
live.
wins Iron Survivor, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be the one to beat Trick.
True, but do you really want to flip that coin? Because I don't. I just want Oba to get his shot and then beat Trick, and then Trick can go to the main roster and make $1 million. Several $1 million. Fuck it.
Several, yeah, maybe
Several million
tens of millions of
Yeah,
dollars.
there you go. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, this segment I could be more forgiving of. I didn't envision any of this, and I think just on a subjective level, I reject it, even if I don't have good logical grounds to do so. What can I say? But Jada Parker, let's talk about Miss Parker. I This woman might be my favorite talker in WWE, and that's the thing.
Fair.
Like I say, might be because I mean, now that Kevin's just full
I
sociopathic douche
know,
again,
he's so
like,
good.
marry me, mother. Like, I know your wife is stunning and you've got a beautiful family, but like, polyamory, my dude. I was about to say polygamy, polyamory, my dude.
What I
Let's get
mean,
on it.
polygamy too.
I mean, sure, but like, I know that that's a bit more taboo, whereas polyamory slowly is like wearing people down. It's starting to become more. But then again, the conservative movement's probably going to set that back 70 years. So, whatever. Uh, But fuck, Jada is just an amazing talker. I love her. Again, she's believable. She is, and I'll say this, I don't care if people are like, "What? That's such a stupid comparison." They're nothing like. She has such stone cold fucking energy to me. I love it. She reminds me of late 90s Stone Cold, where he just didn't give a fuck and he was beefing with everybody because he knew he could be a main eventer
Yep.
and he didn't care if the system got behind him or not. He was going to make them get behind him.
Yep.
Jada's got that same, but
I
in
fully agree with
fact,
you. Yeah.
in fact, this is going to be fucked up for me to say, and I only say this contingent on everything working out in the end. I low-key kind of hope that the main roster tries her and underpushes her at first. Like, light that fire under her ass. Now, again, I say contingent on it everything working out in the end, because I would love to see a Jada Parker with a legit axe to grind just coming for fucking everybody. She is so good. But yeah. What did she say here? Because I'm looking at this recap. She said she was going to qualify for the Iron Survivor and beat Soluka and the other three women. So again, we know it's five. She mentioned her win over Lola Vice. And Parker said she's gonna finish it and leave Deadline as the Iron Survivor because Jada Parker's got next, baby. I love it. I love it, man. She's so good. Fuck. Um, dude, I'm telling you, I don't
Here's a
know.
genuine question for you, John.
Sure, sure.
And I don't want to try and ask this in like bad faith to everyone who disagrees with me. This is me genuinely wanting to get you to like reach into like the annals of history, reach into the depths of your memory. Can you remember in the history of pro wrestling as a whole, a
Okay, that's big.
woman who was a better promo than Jada Parker?
A woman who's a better promo than Jada. On a consistent basis, I'd have to personally say no. Because there have been women with some real fire promos, like Becky when she first like was beating the fuck out of Charlotte, comes to my mind and stuff. But if we're talking about consistency and consistently maintaining that quality, Jada might be the best women's talker I've ever seen.
I
Just in the yeah,
appreciate you bringing up Becky. I do love that you brought her up because I do know that there are a lot of people who would agree with you.
yeah,
And I'm glad that you were able to bring someone to the table because I think for me it's just a hard no. Because I do think that even Becky, like just again, I know I'm not trying to like invalidate your opinion
not.
because
Of course
like
not.
yeah, Becky, I know that Becky is beloved by a lot of people and obviously you were a big fan of her promos. I fucking hated Becky's promos when she was the man.
Yeah, that's why I want to say too that in my answer I did stress consistency because it was at the very beginning again when she was beating the fuck out of Charlotte every week.
Yeah.
And I remember, when I get my way, I'm getting my championship back. You bitch. And then throwing the microphone. That is a standout Becky moment to me.
Right,
I
that's
still
fair.
get chills thinking about that. But like if we're talking consistency, showing up week after week and owning the stick when you get it, Jada
Yeah.
Parker, man.
Yeah.
Like
And again too, it's like if here's the thing, like when you want to talk about Becky, you can be like I can name these like two or three or maybe like four or five really standout Becky Lynch promos. But it's not like you said, it's not like week to week. She's the highlight of every show. And when she was the man, when she was opening Raws, when she was main eventing Raws, when she was really like on top of the company, I did not like her promos at that point. I thought that it was very superficial feeling. It felt very manufactured. It felt like she was playing a character. It felt very fake to me. Like it felt like if you would
yes.
show a non-wrestling fan these promos, they would cringe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've never gotten that vibe from Jada at all.
the vibe I get from Jada, I've already said like late '90s Stone Cold, and
Yeah.
I have stuck by
I
it
mean
because
that
she
that
continues to
alone,
value.
honestly, you could stop there, and that's the highest compliment you can give because like that's a compliment that's so strong that people would think that you're not even being sincere about it because it's such a strong compliment.
What I love beyond that is this is just a woman to me that like we know about her background because they did like that. It wasn't like a what do they used to call those like a deadlock or a locked in or whatever those like deep dives that they would do on people's lives.
Yeah.
But they did do like an in-depth thing on Jada Parker. So we know her background that she used to be an athlete. But like if I didn't know it,
Soccer.
soccer. Because, dude, like, I look at Jada, and you know what else I think? I'm like, man, in an alternate universe, that woman had a Lucha Underground run, and she fucking killed it. Because what she comes off as to me, vibes wise, she feels like a street fighter that just found pro wrestling, and she's like, oh, cool, this is a legal way to do it, and I still get paid. Like, she's a badass, man. I fucking love this woman. When she says that she's gonna do something, I believe. And honestly, right now, like with the men's Iron Survivor, I've got two choices. It's Javon and Oba. But I'm gonna be honest. I have nothing against Stephanie and I have nothing against Zarya, but I'm a bigger fan of Jada than both of them. So for me, there really is only one woman for women's Iron Survivor, and it's Jada. Like Soul would be fine, Stephanie would be fine. Pretty much everybody with the way that match is looking would be fine. But do you want fine or do you want a fucking pop? Because Jada gets the pop for me more than anybody by far. Like, and I'd love to see her and Roxanne mix it up again because she gave Roxanne one of the best moments of her title reign with that fucking slap. And so, yeah, like I'd love to see them run it back again. And yeah, I'm rooting for Jada so hard to win this fucking match, man. So hard to win this match. First, she's got to qualify even, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I know you and I both are big fans, and really kudos to you because you got on the train before I did. It took me a little
And
bit,
you know
but
what?
man,
I also want to throw a shout out to Sean because he was a fan before me.
yeah. Well, I mean, Sean's just excellence personified. That's not really a surprise there. But yeah, just good luck to her. Absolutely good luck to her. Um, so there was a backstage scene, Josh Briggs being talked to, and Yoshiki Inamura from Noah. I
Yes.
have I have no idea who this dude is. Are you familiar with him at all?
Not really, but he is a new NXT signee. Not part of the WWE ID program. He is just an actual new signee.
Okay, okay. We
He
have seen
is
a couple of these, yeah.
31 years old. He is a bit of a hoss. He's 6 foot tall, 231 pounds. Actually, I'm seeing Wikipedia has him listed at 265 pounds, so even more of a hoss than Google has him listed as. He's a thick boy. He's a powerhouse, and he's been to New Japan. He's been in Noah for a while. He's wrestled for 0-1. Like he's a big time, all over the place new in Japan kind of guy.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
I
well,
don't think he's
I'll
ever
be
held any titles though. He held a championship in Progress. Do you remember when Progress had the title that was literally for hosses, like literally the Progress Atlas Championship?
yeah, 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 yeah. I remember that.
Inamura held that fucking title.
Oh, okay. Okay. All
He,
right.
I believe that he went by the name Yoichi when he was in Progress, and he beat RKJ, aka Ricky Knight Jr., when he
Okay.
was there, which is Soraya's older brother,
Okay.
for that title, and he lost it to Axel Tischer, formerly known as Alexander Wolf. Remember Alexander Wolf?
Yes, yes, I remember Alexander Wolf.
Yeah, that is who he lost it to. That was literally actually shit. They must have brought back the Atlas title because yeah, they brought back the Atlas title because I know they deactivated it back in 2019, but apparently they brought it back in 2022 because it's got a new lineage now going on. And Yoichi, aka Inamura, who we're talking about going to NXT now, just won it from RKJ in 2023 and just dropped it to Axel Tischer in 2024, literally this year in April. Or he won it in April, dropped it in May. He only held it for like a month and a half.
Okay. Okay.
And Tischer, Axel Tischer, formerly Alexander Wolf, has held it since May. He's still currently the champion.
Oh, good for him. Um, all right. So
It's
after
different
this,
though. I feel like it used to be that the weight limit was higher. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but the weight limit is, it used to be we had a cruiserweight title where you had to be under a certain weight. The Progress Atlas Championship, you have to be above 205 pounds.
okay. Okay.
I feel like that should be like 240, 250, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's cool still.
All right. Well, we have Eddie Thorpe, who we know is going to be getting a men's Iron Survivor qualifier. I hope it's against Oba and he loses. That's all I'm going to say about that. Then we get Rizzo versus Nikita Lyons. And this was not a women's Iron Survivor qualifier. That's important to note. This was not a qualifier. I thought it was, but this
Mhm.
recap didn't say anything about that, and it's been pretty good about knowing what qualifier matches are and which ones aren't.
I was
So
so fucking angry that Nikita Lyons won this. She looked awful in this match. And I'm not talking like physical attractiveness or literally like I'm not literally trying to comment on her physical appearance at all. She wrestled and moved like she was trying to run through mud here. She looked like shit. She looked awful.
she did look bad. I try and put aside what we know about her personally and just look at it in the ring. And I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying I agree with you, even putting all that aside, because maybe it's just me. I don't want to be too harsh either. I felt like she got blown up hella quick in this. Like, yeah, she just did not look good at all. But she did
Bro,
win,
she
to your
won
point.
with a fucking Vader bomb.
I mean, which to their credit, NXT's credit, I guess, in like carving this for her, given her size and everything, it is a believable finish. But I just don't think she should have won. I think Rizzo's kind of the better performer right now, overall,
Dude,
really.
kinda. Yeah, I was gonna say she's, in my opinion at least, Rizzo is far and away the better performer. Rizzo worked circles around Nikita in this match.
And she's got a great personality.
Yeah.
Again, Jada's still at the top of the fucking heap, but Rizzo, honestly, she's been
At
growing
some
on me
point, I'd
more and
like
more
to
the last couple
see
months.
Rizzo team up with Ren.
Yes, yes.
They'd be a
I,
fun team together.
I will say honestly, our whole conversation about it's really shown me like how many great personalities are in the women's division because I love Ren Sinclair right now. Rizzo's been growing on me the last couple months, and Jada again. We glaze her every week on this show. Like it might as well be the Jada Parker show because every time we talk about her, it's just she's
Can we just
amazing.
do that? Can we just have a Jada Parker show where we just talk about Jada Parker for like an hour and a half?
Honestly, bro, since I'm feeling like completely just dispirited about the state of the world and I'm looking for any happiness I can find, if we wanted to rename this the Jada Parker Show and just talk about her all the time, that would be great to me, honestly, because the state of pro wrestling as a whole wouldn't be a bad move to make at this point in time, just for me. So I'd absolutely be open to it. I love the post match of this though, because as Nikita yells at her or roars, it's over. Uh, so that's something to say about that. Mainly taking a crowbar to her back, Nikita's back. And then after that, she says, now it's over, honey. Damn. You know, I again, just the kid in me that love mob movies and certain people dying again, Joe Pesci specifically. I appreciated that. I appreciated Riz being like, you thought you were getting made, but you got dead. So fuck you. I hope they run it back and it's a street fight and Rizzo wins, and then that's the women's Iron Survivor qualifier. So that we don't have to worry about Nikita in the match and Rizzo gets in the match. Because honestly, I think Rizzo's been doing good work. I think giving her a spot is harmless. Honestly, I am not against it. I think it should be because let's see, we already know Soul is qualified. You can imagine that I would say all three of Zaria, Julia, and Stephanie are going to qualify. So then it's just a question of who gets that last. Oh, and that's going to be tough though, because like it would have to go Jada then if that's the case. Like if all three of the Trinity of Julia, Stephanie, and Zaria qualify, and Soul's already in it, it's got to go Jada, Tatum, or yeah, Riz. I think would be my third to really vie for it. I'd be absolutely cool with that, but Jada especially, of course. Um. So yeah, let's see here,
I would love to see Jada snatch Fallon bald.
dude. That would really be something. You might get what you want because I don't think she's even done with Fatal Influence yet. She shouldn't be because I don't think she ever really got her comeuppance on him. So if Jada doesn't win Iron Survivor, she doesn't even qualify. That's the next step is just her going after the women's North American title. Like Jada needs some hardware and soon. Um, After this, we get Javon versus Lexus King. Javon does win this match, and at one point, Lexus kind of got an accidental low blow on Javon. And it's like, do I take advantage? Don't I? And he doesn't. He helps Javon up. They're continuing this good guy Lexus story.
I
I'll
hate him
admit,
so much.
and see, I'm kind of the opposite. I gotta admit, man, it's starting to pull me in a little bit. I am curious where it's gonna go.
I'm over the
Because
whole thing.
you just you're just like Lexus King should just get out of here. That should be his change. Just get off my television. Um,
To me, Lexus King is like a 4 out of 10 talent, and they are doing every fucking thing in their power to try and give him something to make him get over. And just I just have no interest in participating. Just get
I
out.
don't I don't want to bring him into this, and I don't mean to like bring up his name to do that, but I feel like now correct me if I'm wrong, Foster, because you are here. But I feel like you said, and I actually agreed with you that you felt like ever since they started doing this story, and King has tried to work more babyface, that you've liked his matches more. I would say I agree. I never want to see him vie for the Heritage Cup again because he is a slow speed ass. He is not quick, so I know he tries to do those fancy like moves, but he just doesn't have the speed for it. On the whole, though, I'm like, you know what? The matches aren't as offensive as they used to be to me. So yeah, this angle maybe is kind of wearing me down. I don't know if I'll be an intellectual. I know that Foster tried to bring me into the fold, but yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I'm willing to be like, okay, Lexus, I just want to see how this story plays out. And depending on how it does, you can either stay or fuck off. So we'll have to see how that goes. But because yeah, he got congratulated backstage by oh god, his name was on the tip of my tongue and then I forgot it. Dante Chen. And I think Tyson and Tyreek, who deserve a lot better than being in segments like these. I want to see them in the ring more, damn it. Jesus Christ. Um, for being honorable. And he's like, oh, thanks, guys. You know, it means a lot. But then Gallus interrupted, which, God, I mean, NXT, if you were going to do Alexis King babyface thing, just have Gallus make fun of him, and I'll instantly want to take his side because, as I've said on the show, Gallus does nothing for my phallus. And they continue to not do it because actually
That's
it's gotten
funny
to the
that they
point
do
where
nothing for yours because they kind of make mine recede back into my body.
I was going to say that's starting to happen with mine, where it kind of communicates to me, like physiologically, like, "Daddy, I'm scared. Who is that?" And I'm like, shh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's just mediocrity. It can't hurt you, until it does. Uh, so yeah, I fuck Gallus, and then our main event, Fallon Henley versus Kalani Jordan. This wasn't a bad match, but like, and this
The
is coming
gauntlet
from
was better.
somebody.
The gauntlet was fucking better.
The gauntlet was better, I think. And also, like, this is coming from a guy that you know that there have been episodes on this podcast where I have come to Fallon's defense and really taken up for her. This this wasn't it. I'm actually starting to wonder if JC's the better worker between her and Fallon, and
I
that
think
if
she
this
is, man.
this
I've been saying for a while now that JC is a solid worker, and I've been saying for a while now that Fallon Henley's mid as fuck.
yeah, I'm starting to come around to your viewpoint because I'm wondering like because even with JC, like I've been praising her in her matches lately too. So like
Yeah,
I definitely see it. I'm just wondering if she would have been the better champion here because I don't know. There's a lot I could say about Fatal Influence. A lot of it's just hot air signifying nothing. But I'm kind of getting tired, and I don't think Stardom has helped either with the hate faction. But I'm kind of getting tired of like factions just doing whatever they want, and Zebras just being like, oh well, it's whatever. I didn't see it, or I did see it, but I'm kind of wearing their shirt underneath this striped shirt, so I guess I'll let it go. Like I don't know. I think factions can be really cool. I just want the cheating to be more effective. And I guess in this case it was, but I'm like, ref, how did you not see that? So I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a grumpy old man. That is entirely possible. I am 32 going on 84. But I don't know. This match didn't really do anything for me. I actually thought if you want to talk about like women's matches and title matches this week, this is probably the weakest one of the week. I really didn't care, and that's even knowing that I didn't even see Bianca and Jade versus Liv and Raquel. But I'm going to assume that match was better than this was. I just really did not care for this. Um,
yeah. I mean, I might even go as far as to say like if you take things like intrigue and the unknown, like kind of the mystery box factor into account,
yeah,
Fallon's the worst worker in Fatal Influence.
yeah, yeah. Because I think Jasmine has potential. I really
Yeah,
do.
exactly. Jasmine is interesting. Jasmine has some flash to her. Jasmine has that intrigue and that mystery box factor where it's like you never know what she's going to pull out next. Whereas Fallon, it feels like she's already kind of a finished product. Like it doesn't feel like there's that much room for growth. I'm not saying there's no room for growth, but like it feels like she's like 80% of the way at least to being a finished product, whereas Jasmine's like 30 to 40% there, and she's already really interesting and pretty good. And JC is probably like 70% of the way there, and she's pretty good. And Fallon's just like meh at best.
Yeah, like this is a really weird week where I expected Naomi and Nia. Like I expected a real effort from Naomi because she's a sweetheart and she's amazing at what she does. But I expected that to be the shits because of Nia. But I actually think that might have been my favorite match that I saw this week. And so if Kalani and Naomi are on the same spectrum with each other, both being super athletic women, that means Fallon is competing with Nia. And when Nia outperforms you in a match, that's kind of bad to me. So yeah, Fallon's not looking too good to me. I'm really actually it's gotten to the point where I'm really starting to wonder should the title have just gone to JC, which I mean, God, poor Toxic Attraction or the fragments left of it on Toxic Attraction because you have JC who's in a faction again, but again she's kind of a subordinate now because Fallon's the champion and they're not even free birding the title, which I would have really liked them to do, by the way. And then you have oh God, I'm blanking on her WWE name. What's her WWE name? Fucking the other one, the former Toxic Attraction member, not Mandy Rose, obviously. Come on,
Oh,
we know who this is.
Gigi Dolan.
Yeah, there we go, there we go. Jesus, what a brain fart that was. Gigi Dolan just hasn't done anything. She did the voiceover for Halloween Havoc, the intro. But I'm like, man, if she comes back soon, is she gonna maybe want to challenge for the women's resurrection title? I just wish that these women were doing more because you could see where JC's improved. And I actually thought she did great work in the Chase U storyline too. And for her to just be looked over for Fallon, I don't know. And again, I haven't always disliked that. It's just this match really did nothing for me, and I'm starting to reassess some of my opinions. And I'm like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Um, yeah, and I mean, Javaris isn't even disagreeing with me because he just said how ass you got to be to where Nia outdid. Yeah, bro, I feel the same way. I feel like Nia outworked Fallon this weekend. That's bad to me. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at Fallon differently. Kind of feeling sorry for JC. But let me read Foster's comment as well because I always love his opinions. He said, "For me, it's the faction, not the workers. They just feel like singles wrestlers. Nothing about them feel like a group, and that hurts the perception for me." Foster, I think that's a very salient point. Actually, they don't have synchronized attire. They don't really have a mission per se. Like the mission is, we're these aggrieved veterans and Jasmine's kind of our understudy and we want to take respect. But like, I don't know, man. I just feel like Damage Control when they were running shit, they felt more menacing. Hell, even Pure Fusion Collective early on felt more like a faction than these guys, Fatal Influence. So I definitely think you have merit in your point there. I just felt like this was the low light of the week to me. I really didn't care for this match. Honestly, this might be good for Kalani because now she'll either have to go for the NXT Women's Championship or do something else, which will require a character change because we do see a bit in Lonnie. It's just this whole like babyface personality isn't doing anything, or maybe even get called up. Who the hell even knows? But yeah, I think she's done in the North American title picture, so we'll have to see what's next. And then to close the show, we just had a big brawl with all the tag teams, and that was it. So that's WWE for the week. Did you watch any AEW this week? Because I didn't. So
No.
thank Christ. I was afraid you were going to say yes, and we're going to be here for like another 10 minutes talking about AEW, but you saying no. God bless you,
No,
sir.
I watched nothing. I wanted to watch bits of Collision tonight, but then I realized watching movies with my mom is far more enjoyable, so we did that instead.
Your mother is a beautiful person, and she deserves to be chosen over AEW every goddamn time. It's not even fucking close.
Yeah. We
I'm not even
watched
going to ask.
what was the first movie we watched tonight, Mom? The first one. Oh, it was Tucker and Dale versus Evil,
Okay.
and then we watched The Craft.
Ooh,
It's a
nice.
1996 witch movie. It's fucking great.
I remember that. Yeah, the craft is fucking solid. Yeah.
You've seen it?
I believe so.
What
Yeah.
the poop?
Yeah, that's right. Face. Anyway, I'm not even going to ask you if you've done any extracurriculars because you never do and I never do, so
But what
fuck
if I
it.
did?
You didn't.
But you can't stop asking because then the one time that I do, you're gonna be like, I'm not even gonna ask, and I'm gonna be zoned out, not thinking about it, and you're gonna move on, and it'll be the one opportunity that I would have had to answer, and I would have not done it.
Be honest. I believe everything you say, and yet it still doesn't feel like that much of a tragedy to me. So now, let's open the
Fuck.
gates for questions.
Well, now
like you,
I'm a
you,
little upset. I'm not gonna
you
lie.
really laid all that out, and I'm like, huh, interesting, fair, definitely valid. No. But okay, let's look at this. Oh well, fine, fine. If you're gonna sigh because I'm not dealing with this, did you do any extracurriculars this week?
No, but it's the principle of the thing.
And no, but it's the principal thing. Hush your face hole. Anyway,
I
now that
won't.
I checked in, I didn't either, by the way. Let's get to
I know
questions.
you didn't.
Say that again,
I
sir.
said I know you didn't.
Wow. Uh, Silver Blue didn't even wait for the segment to be introduced before jumping on freaking questions, so we'll get to his question first. Um, was Woods in the right this way? Already, yes. Was Woods in the right this week for helping Kofi, even though he didn't want
I
Kofi to get involved?
don't even know.
I have no context for this Super Blue because I didn't watch, and Ashton just said he doesn't even know. We're just watching this friendship that lasted over 10 years implode in real time, and we feel powerless to stop it. And I think we're just all trying to cope. I don't know. That feels like the right answer. So
Yeah,
moving
pretty
on.
much.
Caster sales. Do you think and yeah, I'll like the video for that, Abel. Like the video if you think Ashton's mom's awesome. I will like it on that principle alone. Do you think Kaiser, and again this is from Caster Sales, do you think Kaiser will interfere in the match between Gunther and Priest? If he does, do you think he will help Gunther retain or will inadvertently cost him the title? I just think Gunther's retaining, man. I'm not thinking that deep about it. I really, again, maybe it's because I was checked out of Raw this week. Javaris, unplug, my guy. Save your own life, please. I'm begging you. I just think Gunther's retaining. I'm not even considering him dropping that until we see who his Mania opponent is. That's just me. How do you feel, Ashton?
I really don't like these narratives that Kaiser's going to turn on Gunther because, like, that's all Gunther has. I mean, obviously, it's not literally all Gunther has in the sense that, like, he's really talented, etc., etc. But, like, Gunther with a faction just feels right. They're not going to just have him not have a faction at all. He already doesn't have what's his face, the fucking bald dweeb anymore. They're not going to just take Kaiser away from him, too.
Yeah, and like I'm just gonna be honest with everybody. Now I know everybody's already concerned about my emotional well-being, but I'm being real here when I say if I'm Gunther, I'm looking at Kaiser and I'm like, I see how you've been looking and I see how you've been talking to me. I just want to remind you of something. I will kill you. I will physically kill you. Look at you. Look at me. Look at how I chop. Hear your chest sizzle with bubbling flesh as I chop. I will
I'm
kill
not
you.
gonna lie, man. I feel like you kind of overhype Gunther's chops in WWE specifically. They don't really hype him up like they used to in like PWG and the European places.
They may not hype them up, but I mean, the workers that get those jobs still sell them like they're fucking death. So, like,
I
if
feel like no one really. I mean, really, just like Orton and Drew is about it.
I feel like Sheamus has shown, like, oh my god, my skin's like fucking
Maybe I'm
cracking
still just
open.
fucking bitter over the fact that Cody didn't sell him for shit.
Well, because Cody ruins everything, bro. That's what he does. That's the system is what it does. Cody is what he does. He doesn't sell. He fucking kicks out of Burning Embers at one, soon to be pile drivers at one, and he beats people that he shouldn't beat. Not only has he now eliminated Gunther from 2 Rumbles, he beat him at Crown Jewel. Like Jesus fucking Christ! Like Cody's just not giving Gunther anything. Is it the gimmick? Is it just like I don't feel comfortable being the American Nightmare and losing to a pseudo Nazi or whatever. Like, get over yourself, my dude. You didn't solve racism. America is the racist capital of the world, one of anyway. And it's a shit fucking country. And fuck you. I blame you partially for Trump getting reelected. I don't know how I would make that narrative work, but life finds a way. Uh, so let's see here. Okay, Super Blues next question. How do you feel about Mike Bailey possibly being a free agent? I just think he's AEW bound, and AEW won't know what the fuck to do with him.
Yes and yes, correct and correct.
And I say that as somebody that likes Mike Bailey, by the way, rooting for you, my dude. Happy that you're finally back in the US. And I know you have been for a while, but still, what you went through was fucked. Fuck borders. But AEW is not going to know what to do with you, my dude. You're going to be Ricochet 2.0, probably. So,
Ricochet 2.0 or Osprey 2.0?
you know what? I do like Bailey more than Ricochet, mainly because he's not bald. So, yeah, Osprey 2.0. Okay. Um, Abel, did you acknowledge your tribal chief today? No, honestly, because I'm starting to vibe with Solo's bloodline. He has low key Carlton Banks energy, and they kind of whooped Roman's ass on Friday, so I don't know where my loyalties lie. Much like Paul Heyman, I too am for the streets. Um,
Can we
Foster.
also just acknowledge that like we had a whole conversation in here about how Roman Reigns is not a good person?
That is the only thing I will acknowledge. Thanks. Um, Foster, who challenged Axiom and his friend next? Wow, Foster, what a subtle diss. The way you diss people, honestly, perfection. I no notes. Um,
Foster's energy towards Fraxium feels very similar to my energy towards FWC,
yeah, dude, right?
right?
God, I love that you two love each other. It's beautiful. All right.
By the
I'm
way,
gonna say
Foster, you called him his friend. Just a little minor suggestion for next time: Burden.
yes, yes. Oh, I had a little baby squee there. Okay,
We heard that one.
I'm gonna say Tyson and Tyreek because they deserve it and fuck the other tag
Oh,
teams.
that would be so cool. I just don't have hope.
Yeah, not as cool as your face though. So keep the hope because we need it. We need hope
Well,
more than ever.
nice. That's fair.
Um, so Super Blue. Okay, no, that was a comment from Super Blue, not a question. Um, comment. Okay, here's a question. Caster Sales, since Miz got over his heel again, if this continues, do you think he may overtake Final Testament, kicking Cross and Scarlet out and turning it into a new Miz Taraj? Caster, I
Why do
love
you?
your imagination, man.
Oh my god, the most specific questions imaginable. At least this one isn't as offensive as New Virgil.
Where the hell did that even come from? No. I'm gonna say no. Like I really appreciate the spirit caster, but no. When you have an
Caster is
unhinged
literally out here making parlay bets on like minus or on like plus 35 million odds. Like fucking hell.
like I'm waiting for the question when you're like, so do you think when Kevin Owens pile drives Cody Rhodes and they do a segment with him sharing a hospital bed with Randy Orton that Kevin Owens is going to recreate the Austin McMahon segment? And is he going to hit Cody Rhodes in the head with the bedpan? That question, I'll be like, oh, you bet your fucking head, Caster. Like I will answer that with my whole chest, yes. But for now, no, no. Um, and let's see. Yeah, I love how we're all rooting for Hosky to get better friends. Super Blue. Do you think Nathan wins his possible match against Eddie Thorpe? Or do they both? Oh wait, so it's a Nathan go. Oh man, Men's Iron Survivor about to tank. Jesus
It's gonna
Christ.
be Eddie, Edward, Edithan,
It's gonna be Thorpeus, which is much weaker than Morpheus, but we
Thorpius.
have to deal
I
with it.
love Thorpius. That's an amazing name for him.
You bet your
Oh
ass it is,
god,
and
I
I'm
hope
glad
that
you
name
enjoyed
doesn't
it.
make me like him because he sucks.
That means you should like me more. I'm the one that invented it. It was me.
Yeah, obviously. I don't know if it's possible for me to like you much more though.
Well, try. Fuck. Better that than liking Thorpius. In fact, you know what? No. The name's canceled. It's not happening now. It has too much risk. Oh. Um, let's see. So yeah, I'll just agree with Ashton that Thorpe is winning. Caster Sales, Yuta is the Jey Uso of the Death Riders, so isn't it more appropriate for him to beat Mox for the AEW Championship? Says who, good sir? Um, because personally, I still see Darby Allen ultimately beating Mox for the title. But I don't know though. It's AEW. Who gives a shit? Uh
Yay for who gives a shit. Hooray!
well, that answers that question on your side. Um let's see.
Yuta's probably winning the IWGP Championship on January 4th, to be honest with you.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I
no,
was
no,
ready.
no. I got my Y names confused. I'm thinking Yota, not Yuta.
Thank
Or no, it's not
God.
even him either. It's not even Yota Tsuji that's going for it. It's fucking Umito. That's who's winning the IWGP title.
How could you do
Shota.
this to us?
I'm
What the
sorry,
hell
my
just happened?
brain is scattered. You're gonna have to forgive me.
Sometimes, you know what? I'm not going to finish the thought. It wasn't even a dark thought. It was just it was weird.
It was
Um
mean. Was it mean, John? Are you
No,
gonna be
it wasn't
mean?
meaning. It was just weird. But I'm swallowing it. Okay, nobody's gonna know what it was. Not
Choke
even
it
you.
down.
No, I'm swallowing it smoothly. You know what? Fine. No, fuck you. I'm not choking it down. I'm now sharing it with the group. I will not be challenged. I was going to say that sometimes I want to just open your cranium and massage your brain from the inside so that it can relax.
That would be
Because what
really
the hell
nice.
even
I
happened
would actually
there?
really enjoy that. That would be so
You
sweet.
probably would, because you're a sick freak like me. You're just better at masking than I am.
How is
So
that a sick freak thing? It sounds pleasant.
Sure, bud. All right.
Oh,
Let's see.
I
Foster's.
got called a sick freak.
Well, loving. Look, you're in good company. Okay. Have you seen us? Mainly me. I mean, Jesus. Let's see. Not a question. Not a question. Oh, I think this is actually a question from Javars at the end. So, well, I actually don't have like Grace there.
So
So, your mom hates us both.
wait.
All right. So, working that back in. So, is there a likelihood of Kamitani actually beating Tam for the red belt, or is Tam just going to rule over Stardom with the red belt, artist belt, IWGP Women's belt, and the title of Ace?
There's a
Was
likelihood, yes. It's about 12%.
Jesus, that's low. What the fuck? Um,
Well, I don't want to get the boys' hopes up, man. Come on now.
no, no. You know what? I'm the problem here. You're right. I apologize. But Javars, I gotta tell you, it's Stardom was good this week from the matches we selected, but as far as like the general direction of the company, like I'm starting to lose interest a little bit where I'm like, they're just gonna do what they're gonna do. And like I don't know. I don't know. I think once they really fucked up Queen's Quest, I think they kind of crossed an invisible line for me that I'm like, from this point forward, like I'll still support you. Like I am still subscribed to them. Obviously, we're still doing the recaps and everything. But as far as like the general direction you want to go for your company, okay, okay, because you took the one thing that I really loved and cherished, and that's fine. You just do you, I guess. So yeah, Javaris, it was kind of like crossing the Rubicon for me, where it's like whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do.
Ooh,
Fuck Samantha though.
Rubicon. That's a fun word to say. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Foster. Foster said, "Do you guys think, based on their interactions, that Dion and Brinley might have more interactions together?" Personally, I hope not. Dion, I'm gonna be blunt to everyone else. Dion deserves better. Okay, I'm not really liking the people he's interacting with. They seem like a bunch of lightweights, and
What?
I'm just
Lightweights? What does that even mean?
intellectual lightweights. Like,
Oh my
I'm
god,
sorry,
this dude
one
called
can
me
talk about Grapes of
dumb.
Wrath, and the other one can talk
Jesus
about what?
Christ.
Cat in the Hat. I'm just saying,
Who's
Dion.
the cat
I'm
in the
just
hat
saying.
one? Lexus?
Possible. I don't fucking know. Probably. Probably.
Jesus, man. This intellectual superiority needs to go.
I'm just saying, man. Dion. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I'm just
But
saying, just because someone reads books in public doesn't mean they're smarter than everyone else.
kinda does to me. So Super Blue asked if Johnny doesn't, and to answer the question sincerely, I do think they could have more interactions together because clearly Brinley's entangled in this Ashanti Carmen story. And if she's not going anywhere, Dion's not going anywhere. So just from a logical, realistic standpoint, yeah, they're having more interactions together. It would be an interesting time for WWE to bring mixed match challenge back because you could have a lot of fun teams in there if they did it again. But regardless, um, your mom's still upset about both of us doing the Grace at the same time. Um,
I can't blame her. We kind of betrayed her there.
but it felt so right in the moment. Um, Super Blue. Oh, actually, I was about to go to the other Super Blue question, but he asked one before that. If Johnny doesn't join Champa as a heel, does their possible feud involve the U.S. title? Champa as champ. Well, that can't happen because the Wayward Samurai is going to win it after he knees LA Knight in his face and pins him 1, 2, 3. So yeah, yeah. Not even
Mm.
LA Knight. I've just realized what I kind of did there, but just
Yeah, I
wanting to
was
like, I'm gonna move.
pointing that
Yeah,
out. Okay.
well, yeah, yeah. But that's not gonna happen because Nakamura's winning the title, and Ciampa's just gonna, I don't know, go in a corner and pout somewhere. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Sounds
uh,
like a plan to me, bud.
if Green makes the finals, would you live react to Saturday main event? I don't know. It depends on who against. If it was against Michin,
What?
maybe. But Ash and I kind of have a rule of thumb where we need a match minimum to make a video out of. We're not just going to
Yeah,
do content for
3.
one match. Yeah, three is like our minimum number. So there would need to be two other compelling matches. So we'll see. That's on Saturday night's main event. That's not on us. So it's got to, suck less. Not even really suck. Just be good. That really increases your odds considerably.
True.
So yes, yes, I thought you would agree. Let's see. I guess Javaris also, what the fuck happens to Stars when Mayu eventually dips from Royal Gold? I think Hosky takes Mayu's place as leader. I don't think Stars dies if Mayu goes.
Wouldn't it be
I think Stars
glorious
is
if Hazuki went with her and they both came to Marigold together?
Jesus. Well, then
Oh,
either you would have to make Hanan leader, or like there's just no Stars to me because ain't no fucking way I'm
Hanan
buying
as
Ida
leader
as
would be
leader.
beautiful, actually. I would love that for her.
Honestly, normally I'd be like not as beautiful as your face, but given that it's Hanan,
Or
yeah.
she could just come over to Marigold too. She is
Do
a
you just want?
Mayu protege, after all.
I mean, do you just want Stardom to die at this point? Because it's like three huge heavy
No,
hitters just
no,
leaving for
no. I
Monaco.
don't want Stardom to die. I want Stardom and Bushiroad to cut ties. That's the main thing.
Oh, I see what you're driving at. It's like I'm gonna make things worse for Stardom, so they see Bushi Road as the problem. They sever ties, and then they get good again. Hooray!
Yeah. See, you get it. See, yeah, yeah. See, yeah.
Devious mastermind.
I appreciate that credit. I don't know if I really deserve it though.
Well, I'm giving it to you, so enjoy it.
Thanks, buddy.
Uh, so Super Blue asking, should I think you meant Hikuleo because I've never heard of a Lukaleo, and I think he corrected it. Yeah, you know, Caster corrected it, and Super Blue was like, yes. Should
Lukaleo.
I should should Lukaleo join OTC instead of Seth? Look, I think Hikuleo could actually
OTC.
work. Yeah,
What's OTC? Isn't that original tribal chief?
yeah. So maybe he just means OBL for original bloodline, if you prefer, or OG bloodline, which is what they're calling themselves. Either way, look, I think Hikuleo could really work into it, but that is too much too fast. Like, can we breathe for a second?
I
Jesus,
mean, it's gonna be Seth. Let's be real.
it is going to be Seth. You're right, friend. And with that, we should just move on. Super Blue is the world champion in Stardom. It's Tam. It's Tamantha Nakano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tamantha
She
Nakano.
went winless in the 5-star Grand Prix and then was like, I'm cute. Give me a world title shot. And she got it and won.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. Oh God. Any other questions? Since it's almost one, I think I'm closing the gate now. So let's move on to our yeah, yeah, enjoy that Super Bowl. Enjoy that revelation. Um high spots and low shots. So what will it take for you guys to acknowledge your real child chief? Abel, you know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm going to acknowledge you for being a handsome fucking man, a beautiful person. I sometimes wish to check your back for wings because you seem like a fucking angel. And yeah, I'll acknowledge you because you deserve it. I'm not acknowledging abusers that don't apologize. And Solo, again, I'm kind of liking the energy he's bringing lately, but that's still
Wait.
not enough to be a tribal chief.
Abel has literal native blood. Can we make him our tribal chief?
Done. I'm not even calling it to a vote. It's done. Abel, you're tribal chief now. I'm holding my finger up for you, son. We the ones.
We acknowledge
Fucking
you, Abel.
We acknowledge you, Abel. Now go and kick Cody Rhodes' ass and take that championship. Um, so high spots and low shots. Let's fucking do this. Um, my low shot. God, no, I can't do that. We never really do that, and I want to play by the rules.
He
Low
posted
shot.
a flushed face.
You so much. God,
He's
low,
present.
low shot. You know what? I'm gonna do this just because I really, really want to. Honorary low shot I'm going to give to Rich Holland because you had a title shot right there and you're potentially gambling it away because you want to be evil. Normally that's boner material, but not right now, my dude. Not right now. You stopped staring at your hands for this. Don't fuck it up. Um Actual low shot I'm going to say is Cedric Alexander because you lost a chance to
Aww.
qualify in men's Iron Survivor and you lost to a guy that should have been a more white hot heel than he is. And like, I don't know, Cedric. I don't know. Just kind of a rough week for you, bud. So Cedric's going to be my low shot. Who is your low shot?
Myself. You made me sad. And
Oh,
you
I'm
called me a
sorry.
freak earlier.
Wow. You're still hung up on that? Jesus, either have the complex or don't. God, I moved on from that like the moment it happened. What are you doing?
You weren't
Uh,
the victim of it.
I was emotionally. It hurts me to have to do it, okay? But someone has
You
to.
don't have to do it, and B, you weren't the victim of it.
Maybe Roman is more of a victim than I gave him credit for, because it had to hurt him too to do the things he was doing. I
Jesus
see you, Roman. I
Christ.
see you.
This motherfucker would rather play mental gymnastics to make it seem like Roman Reigns is actually in the right than admit he was mean.
Yeah, I mean, my father. I did learn something from him. I am a mental. They call me Simone Biles because I'm that talented of a mental gymnast, baby. Who is your low shot?
God, I mean, Naomi is my low shot because
Ooh, that's a good one.
she definitely had the title won. She hit her finisher and got kicked out of. There's just a lot going wrong for her this week. Really unfortunate week.
Yeah, and she's married to Jimmy Uso. I mean, fuck. Sorry, Naomi. It's just a
Oh
rough
no.
fucking week for you. Um, so we
Oh.
will never not beef with Jimmy Uso. Everybody needs to get comfortable with this because it's on site with this motherfucker for me.
What did
Um,
he even do to you?
everything. High spot for me. I want to be good with this one because they're actually it's not slim pickings this week. We actually have good choices. Um, hmm,
I'm excited to
hmm.
hear your answer.
I'm excited to hear my answer too when I come up with
Nice.
it. Yes. Okay. You know what? No. No. No.
Okay.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna do Javon Evans because he qualified for men's Iron Survivor, and I think he's an early favorite to win the damn thing. Especially if you're gonna have either Eddie Thorpe or Nathan Frazier in it. If I'm fucking Javon, I'm like, oh my god. My chances of winning this match. Let's see. If it's 5 people and it's 20% each, I'm like, I just took a motherfucker's 20%. I added it to my own, so I now have a 40% chance of winning right now. Let me pray for more suck. So yeah, Javon's gonna be my high spot.
Okay. My high spot is going to be. I really want to think this over because there are a lot of good options, like you said. I'm going to throw out some honorary high spots and then I'll land on my actual high spot. How does that sound?
Cool.
So, honorary high spot, I want to give to um, Nia Jax, actually, just because, like I said, best match of her career, retention, kicked out of Naomi's finisher. But I don't like to give high spot and low shot from the same match, so she's not getting my high spot because Naomi already got my low shot. Another honorary high spot is going to go to the Motor City Machine Guns because even though they didn't actually beat the Street Profits, they did still have a successful retention on SmackDown this week, thanks to DIY. Um, Another honorary high spot. Actually, no. You already gave your actual high spot to Javon Evans, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So I need to stop futzing around and give a real fucking high spot. I kind of want to give it to women, but I won't. I am going to give my actual real life high spot to. I hate to do this, but it does make the most sense. Temu Bloodline,
Oh,
because you
nice.
got Bronson Reed on your team, and you stood tall, and Bronson got to do the tsunami on Roman, which we've seen can take people out for a long time, and you're adding more and more and more friction to the opposing team because now it's very likely the Roman is going to have to make a call to Sethington. And Sethington and Roman don't get along. Literally, the last time we saw them interact, Roman was fucking planting a steel chair into Sethington's back at the cost of his own world title. So
Yeah.
I feel like Temu Bloodline won the week in a major way.
Yeah. You know what? I agree. I love that you stood on business and you went with it in the end. That's good shit. All right. Well, with that said, guys, this has been in review. Please like the video as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you miss any of that troll goodness because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. I'm John. That was my corner commentary, Ashton. You can check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch. I hope to be getting a Blue Sky soon. I haven't put out a date because, to be honest, I am enjoying the social media detox. This is the first time that I've been without any significant social media. Literally, I only have Facebook and Discord with y'all.
I am
This is the first time in years.
Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky, and literally, like a few minutes into us being live on this show, I updated our week in review background to reflect that neither one of us wants people to flock to our Twitter anymore, and you don't have any social media that you want people to go to, and I put my Blue Sky account on our background.
Oh, I just refreshed as you were talking, and I see it, and like, wow, I love it. It feels so right. Um, but yeah, I definitely do think I will be on Blue Sky. Like, I'm very committed to that. I've heard nothing but good things. It seems like such a non-toxic place right now, and it seems like they are vetting accounts. Because I heard that like Marjorie Taylor Greene and others tried joining, and I think they got blocked out. So like, that's pretty fucking cool. Because don't give space to fascists just ever. So yeah, you could see Ashton's Blue Sky there in the background. TwitWoW-Zen. Love it. I'll probably do something similar to that. And yeah, so you can follow us there. As far as Q&A, that'll be coming up end of December. So just for now, get questions in Discord or YouTube. Hopefully, that is another reason though for me to kind of get the lead out of my ass and make a wrestling account on Blue Sky so that I can do maybe a Q&A pin tweet and kind of recommit to that because Blue Sky is untested water, so we don't know how that'll go. But yeah, you
A
can you
really
can
cool
follow
thing
us
I saw
there.
about Blue Sky this week, I think Alex Foster actually posted this in Free Talk. They have pretty much promised not to use the data to train AI.
Oh, that's so wonderful because AI is going to be the death of us all. Jesus. At least I think. Actually, no, I shouldn't even say AI specifically, but corporations behind AI are going to be the death of us all because corporate greed knows no bounds. Oh, planet, we could just get another one. Colonize Mars, baby. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us this week. We've got nothing tomorrow. Next week shouldn't be Survivor Series week, right? Or do we
It's
or
two
is
weeks
it?
away. It's 2 weeks away.
It's 2 weeks away. Okay. So yeah, we will see you guys again. When are we thinking, Ashton? Tuesday for Money Gold, Monday for Money Gold?
Um, you know what? That's a really good question. Let me pull up the Money Gold schedule.
Because
Do
I
you
know they had a
know?
show, I believe, on Friday, right?
They had a show on the 14th. Was that Friday?
I should have. No, that would have
That
been.
was
That would have
Thursday,
been Thursday. Yeah, it would have been Thursday.
and we have not reacted to that yet.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm thinking Monday.
Monday at 6, or should we aim for 5?
Actually, I wonder if it's already available to watch, and if it is, I can tell you a timestamp.
Well, that's why I was, yeah, because I assumed.
It's not up. Oh shit! It
Oh,
is. It's on the stream archive.
okay.
Total timestamp is actually a long show, 256. Let me look
Damn.
through and see if we have anything skippable on here. Hummingbird versus Naho Yamada. We'll probably want to watch that. Seto versus Minami Yuki. We're going to want to watch that. Yes. Yes. Mirai and Sakurai versus Utami and Koki. We're going to want to watch that. Ano or Aono versus Shozuki. We're definitely going to watch that. And then the main event is Sari versus Nao Ishikawa. That's a weird one.
Is it for the title?
No, it's a special passion match.
I wouldn't mind skipping that, honestly.
Okay, that match comes on around the 2.5 hour mark. So we'll be doing 2.5 hours. So we should probably go live at 5 on Monday.
Okay, 5 on Monday, guys. Be there for Monday Gold. We'll be skipping the main event because yeah, that main event doesn't really interest me at all. I don't even dislike Ishikawa.
Yeah,
I
we
just feel
can
like
dip before
somebody's
that
winning.
match starts, but
Yeah,
everything else we're gonna want to watch.
definitely. Okay, well then we'll see you guys at 5 on Monday. Until then, be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in and peace out.